Due to the length of the previous program, we now join the following program already in progress.
The third-ranked Baylor playing host to the Buffalo Bulls. We'll be back for the kickoff next on Fox College Football. Fox College Football is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price every day. And by Ford F-Series, America's best-selling truck for 36 straight years. A great day in Waco, Texas. It may still feel like the middle of summer, but it has not dampened the enthusiasm of the Baylor line. 23rd ranked Baylor hosting the Buffalo Bulls. They have a history. 2-0, Baylor leads the series. They won in Buffalo in 2007, and the last meeting was in 2010. Baylor here at Floyd Casey Stadium defeated Buffalo 34-6. No surprise, a big game that day for RG3, nearly 300 yards through the air, and he ran for 2 touchdowns. This will be the hottest game that the University at Buffalo has ever played. Kickoff temperature 97 degrees this afternoon in Waco.
Well, I walked down on the field, and then I walked back, Mark, and I took off my undershirt, I wrung it out, and I put it back on. I mean, it's that kind of a day.
It's looking really good now,
well,
just so you know.
Looks good. Up okay.
The kickoff from Aaron Jones, who had 8 touchbacks and 8 kickoffs last week. And 9 for 9 because Devin Campbell opts not to take it out of the end zone from 6 yards deep. It's time for the Academy Sports and Outdoors right stuff players to watch for Buffalo's offense and Baylor's defense.
Well, Alex Newts is the wide receiver for Buffalo. He caught 9 passes and a touchdown last week against Ohio State. He's a really smooth player. Bryce Hager, the leader in tackles a year ago for the Big 12, led the Baylor Bears last week against Wofford with 12 tackles. And Eddie Lackey was all over the field as well.
After the touchback from the 25, that's where Buffalo will start. Joe Licata at quarterback. On a flea flicker to open the game. A little razzle-dazzle to start it out. Licata goes deep. There's a flag down, but the pass is caught. Inside the 30-yard line, down near the 25 of Baylor by Alex Newts.
You want to take a play to start a game and take the crowd out of the game and all the buzz, you throw a flea flicker in there. And it was a great call on this play and well executed. Even though Newts got bumped, he still came down to catch.
Number 13, defense. The penalty is declined. Play resulted in a first down.
That's the referee, Alan Eck. It's 54 yards ballsy on the flea flicker.
Well, I mean, here it is. It's to Oliver. Oliver throws it back to Licata, and Licata lets it fly. And this, I talked about Alex Newts. This kid just simply gets behind defenses. He did all Saturday last week in Columbus against Ohio State. And look what he does to this Baylor Bear defense that has a lot of speed.
6'3", 205 from Grand Island, New York. Brandon Oliver with a Baylor 21. A gain of 3. Joe Licata started the last 4 games of the 2012 season, and Buffalo went 3-1. Those are the career numbers. When we talked this week with Jeff Quinn, Baldy, he said Joe Licata gave them a spark when he became the starter last year. Yeah, and I thought he carried over even last week. Down 23-0 in the first quarter to Ohio State. He brought him back. They outscored Ohio State 2017 the last 3 quarters. Nowhere to go for Brandon Oliver. On second down, the Baylor defense, who gave up a 54-yard pass play on the first play of the game, throws back Brandon Oliver for a loss. Chris McAllister led the way. Wow, that's McAllister and Bo Blackshear inside. They got good penetration, so they set up a 3rd and 10. Now, if you're Baylor, your all eyes have to be on Newts, 19 out at the wide receiver. I mean, he's a guy that can win jump balls. He's their best target. He's a guy that can go up and get the ball. I expect this ball to go to Newts here. Fred Lee is wide to the left, and in the slot, tight end Mason Schreck. Play action. Looking left, Fred Lee, who did not catch a pass last week but did run one time, has it right at the first down marker. KJ Morton on the tackle. This probably will need to be measured. Yeah, I mean, here up at the top. I'll tell you what, it's good coverage. It's a great throw by Licata away from the defender. Lee did a good job of shielding it. They don't even need to measure. No. Buffalo converts on 3rd down and 10 after only going 3 for 14 on 3rd downs last week. The Buffalo fans here in Waco like it.
Well, that's not an easy trip to make.
No.
Jeff Quinn, the head coach, a longtime offensive line coach at a number of stops in college football.
Last job, offensive coordinator at Cincinnati. 4th year now at Buffalo. Brandon Oliver. Eddie Lackey. And a host of green shirts on the defense there for Baylor as Buffalo moves inside the Bears 10.
You know, I'm just watching Brandon Oliver here, and everybody's talking about, well, you know, this is the hottest game Buffalo's ever played in. But, like, Brandon Oliver is from Miami, Florida. I mean, they've got 12 kids from the state of Florida here that have been recruited up to Buffalo. And so these kids have played in this type of weather their whole life. I mean, Brandon Oliver is not going to be fazed by the temperatures down in that field today. Just like they weren't fazed by the temperatures in Columbus last week.
Ohio State was the team that had more players cramping up than Buffalo did. 2nd down inside the 10. Oliver, a hole opens up. Oliver fighting for the end zone. He's close. They can pick up a 1st down without a touchdown, and they are right on the 1-yard line.
And they ran right behind their experienced left side of the line in Carlson and Davis. These two guys over here, 50 and 56 now, they are experienced. They're all MAC players. Look, they get every block. A knockdown block by Carlson. That's a good blocking up front. And they are nasty on that left side of the offensive line.
1st and goal. Licata to Oliver. Stacked up. He's stopped.
Big hit. That's Lackey.
Lackey's really had a bite out of things early on from a defensive perspective.
Well, Lackey's the senior. He was at Riverside Community College. Got 1 player down for Baylor here. I don't know if that's
Bryce Hager.
Yeah, Bryce Hager right there. Hold his head. I mean, you did down the goal line. It's just all collisions, sometimes mid-air collisions, just trying to stop a guy like Oliver going in.
Almost 3.5 minutes into the game. Buffalo is looking at a 2nd down and goal to go at the 1. But medical attention right now for Bryce Hager, the junior from Austin. 12 tackles last week, as Baldy noted, the leading tackler in the Big 12 last season.
Just down the road in Austin Westlake High School, a power in the state of Texas, high school football, big 5A school.
He has to come out of the game as backup last week. Avion Edwards from Stephenville, a redshirt freshman, had 3.5 tackles for loss and had a sack last week.
I think Brandon Oliver here might have kicked him. Yeah, there's.
Oh,
yeah, just in the head there. Oh, right in the back. Yeah,
he got it twice.
Yeah, he did. So he just got dinged. You don't know if that's a concussion or what that might be. You always have to be concerned nowadays, but that's exactly what gave him a little bit of a ding.
2nd and goal. Oliver will give it another go, and there's a crease for him to find his way into the end zone. After falling behind 23-0 last week, Buffalo strikes first here at Baylor.
Right behind Jason Carlson, the senior, all-MAC guard. Got good movement over there, and when they needed tough yards, that's right where they went. That's a heck of a drive, though. I mean, that'll, you know, I mean, Art Briles talked all week that playing Buffalo was going to be a step up in the competition. They just showed you why.
Patrick Clark from Newcastle, Delaware, puts Buffalo in front 7-0. 3 minutes and 38 seconds gone in the game. And coming at you, Bo Oliver. This year may become the leading rusher in University of Buffalo history. He finds the end zone in Waco. The first rushing touchdown this season for Brandon Oliver, who had 5 last season. It puts Buffalo in front of Baylor 7-0.
Well, it started early with the flea flicker. Throw back to Licata, who let it fly to Newts. Got behind the Baylor defense. And then a couple good throws. This one on 3rd and 10 to Lee. Got a 1st down. And then Brandon Oliver with a couple tough runs off the left side, including that 1-yard touchdown plunge. And the Buffalo Bulls, UB, beating BU right now, 7-0.
The BMW scoring drive for Buffalo. 7 plays, 75 yards, 3 minutes and 38 seconds. Again, the big play was the flea flicker pass from Licata to Alex Newts. And Brandon Oliver, who needs around 550 yards to pass James Starks of the Packers to be University of Buffalo's all-time leading rusher, plunges in from a yard out. There's Bryce Hager. He got hurt on the play before the touchdown.
Yeah, it looked like he got dinged. He got kicked in the back of the head. And I don't know if he's just trying to clear the cobwebs right now. We'll see if he goes out for the next series. But meanwhile, Buffalo kicks off here, and their job is to try and slow down an offense that put up 69 points a week ago right here against Wofford College.
Most points ever at Floyd Casey Stadium. Patrick Clark, Darius Jones for the 5. Stopped at the 24. Here are our Academy Sports and Outdoors right stump players to watch for Baylor's offense and for Buffalo's defense.
Well, Lake Seastrunk got off to a great start last week, averaging 10 yards a carry at 110 yards rushing. Tevin Reese showed phenomenal speed at wide receiver, catching a touchdown pass. Khalil Mack, we've been watching him all day long. He's our do-everything linebacker, and Johnson's a corner. It's going to get a lot of work on the edge today.
From Midlothian, Texas, Bryce Petty, a junior in his 4th year. Made his first start last week, was sensational. Hands the ball off on the first play from scrimmage for Baylor to Lake Seastrunk. Surging forward for 2 yards with one of Buffalo's linebackers, Blake Bean, on the tackle.
Let's go.
Baylor very quick on offense, as we saw last week against Wofford. Seastrunk sweeping. Tiptoes past the 30, out of bounds. Lou Tepper, the defensive coordinator for Buffalo, told us, Baldy, they practice with a scout team counting down from 14 seconds for plays this week.
And sometimes that's slow. Sometimes it's 10 to 12 seconds.
Like right here, up the gut, another run for Baylor, and a first down is converted on 3rd and 2. Derek Grimm with the tackle.
Well, let's just see how quickly they get this play off. The clock started down here at the bottom with 40 seconds to go. Lake Seastrunk late getting on the field.
They had brought in Glasgow Martin for that last play. Play fake, first throw, Bryce Petty caught, Tevin Reese turns inside, here's the speed. Reese off to the races, he will score, Tevin Reese, touchdown, Baylor. 61 yards.
They spread you out, and they attack you. Every blade of grass on the field, you've got to cover. And if you give Tevin Reese a couple of yards separation, it's a track meet, and you're just not going to catch that man. He showed it last week against Wofford. He showed it again today in a long line of great receivers at Baylor. He is going to be the next one.
Tevin Reese has now caught a pass in 39 of the 40 games he's played for the Baylor Bears. Aaron Jones nails the extra point. He's made 117 consecutive extra points. Let's take another look at it. The play fake to Seastrunk, the pass to Reese, and he is picking him up and putting him down 61 yards to the end zone. It's tied after a 1-minute drive by Baylor. Bryce Petty leads Baylor on a quick drive to come back and tie the score. 3 runs and then a little pitch and catch to Tevin Reese.
Well, they catch Buffalo in a blitz here. Here's their safety actually up in the line of scrimmage. He comes, and now the corner playing behind him, Najee Johnson, gives Tevin Reese way too much room. And since the safety blitz, there's nobody in the middle of the field to help slow Tevin Reese down. I mean, you see this right now. Najee Johnson right now, he comes up. You got to get inside out. You got to at least slow him down to get pursuit to get there. So Lou Tepper will do things like invert his corners and his safeties. I mean, he's an experienced coordinator. He's trying to figure out ways. He knows what this speed of Baylor is all about in this spread offense. And it backfired him on the 4th play of the game. Of course, the other enemy today is just the searing heat. That's accurate, folks, by the way. That'd be 117 if I'm reading that thermometer correctly on the field.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's why you had to wring your shirt out after you went down to the field earlier.
Yeah.
Devin Campbell of Fourier's Houston are back team. Aaron Jones to kick off for Baylor after a 54-second touchdown drive. From the goal line, Houston. Doesn't even get back to the 20. Avion Edwards with a stop. The sports and highlight show that you've been waiting for is here. Fox Sports Live is Jay Onright and Dan O'Toole are joined by Donovan McNabb, Gary Payton, Andy Roddick, and Carissa Thompson to bring you everything you need to know about the world of sports. Fox Sports Live airs nightly on Fox Sports 1.
You know, also on that show is Gary Payton, Mark. He's going into the Hall of Fame, the Basketball Hall of Fame. This weekend, Bernard King joining him there, so I'm sure that they will fet him on Fox's new favorite talk show.
Gary Payton, a long career with the Seattle Sonics, most notably. Brandon Oliver had the touchdown run, and Oliver with a run on first down for Buffalo, a drive that starts from their own 18. He picks up 4, and Eddie Lackey, who's been on a host of plays early on for Baylor, stops him.
Well, the one thing about Buffalo's offense is they're very multiple. They'll line up in a pistol formation. They'll line up in a spread formation, a power. They show you a lot of different looks. But ultimately, they've got a good experienced offensive line up front.
Here's the pistol now on 2nd and 6. A deep ball. They're trying to hook up down the middle of the field with Nukes, and there is a flag down. Newts drew a pass interference play, but still caught the ball on the flea flicker early on.
He's just one of those guys that is just always gets behind the defense.
Pass interference, number 22, defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Now, they don't get their corners and their safeties of Baylor kind of paying attention here. Here's Joe at the top here against Newts. I mean, he's just a straight, he just gets inside him right now, and he grabs that jersey to try and slow him down. It's the right call. But he's sneaky fast. And so he got up on him quicker, and all of a sudden he saw him going by him. He grabbed the jersey to slow him down.
First down. Mason Schreck.
They're all excited about their tight ends here in Buffalo. They caught 7 passes last week against Ohio State. Mason Schreck had 4 of them. I'm a young redshirt freshman. You'll see him. He'll move all over the place. They'll put him in the slot. Here he is in the left slot this time. In a stack formation.
From Medina, Ohio. Matt Weiser, a tight end, caught 2 passes last week. A touchdown on one of them. Jimmy Gordon also caught a pass last week. The tight ends were active. 2nd and 6. Oh, and it's dropped. They were looking for Schreck again.
Well, they were working on Terrell Burt, the safety that time, out of a bunch formation. So they're just trying to see if Baylor's got their rules against bunch lined up. That's a good throw by Licata. Put it right in Mason Schreck's hands. He knows he pounced the turf afterwards. He knows he should have caught that ball. And this is the down. This is the down right now that you got to do to stay on the field, convert on 3rd and 5, keep that Baylor offense off the field.
Buffalo converted on a 3rd and 10 on the last drive. 3rd and 5, a delay handoff. And there's room for Oliver, and he ends up running over one of his own linemen to get the first down into Baylor territory.
This is just a draw, straight draw right up the middle. You know, you invite that pass rush, and then you kind of sucker punch him here.
Yeah.
Like he shows pass, now a little draw set. All right, got some good blocks. You see some white jerseys rolling around on the ground, just trying to get Baylor's feet all tangled up, and it worked.
Howard over the center, Trevor Sales at the end of the run. Oliver, his longest run last week against Ohio State was 10 yards. He ran for 10 on that 3rd down, but nothing doing on that first down run of a yard. Terrence Lloyd stopped.
Well, he did, and that's the read option, where they don't even block Lloyd. They option Lloyd. All right, he's the quarterback's man, but Lloyd read it well, and he closed down. Since he wasn't blocked, he was able to put the hit on Oliver. Which one is really calling the play? You got a couple of double signals, and you got the right one.
A lot of deception. 2nd down and 9. They are really looking to establish the run, and then they've stretched the field with a couple of deep balls. That was Oliver with a short gain.
But, you know, as Buffalo is signals in the plays here from the sideline, you know, I mean, Jeff Quinn told us, he goes, we're not going to be intimidated by Baylor.
Right.
No, we believe in what we're doing. We know we're a good team in the MAC. We showed you last year, opening up at Georgia between the hedges, last week in the horseshoe at Ohio State, that we can play with these guys. I think the longer they keep this game close, the more 3rd downs they convert, the more they'll believe in themselves.
Licata in the pistol. 3rd down. Guns over the middle. Terrell Burt, it's incomplete, almost intercepted. The pass is incomplete.
That's just a bad throw by Licata. He had Schreck open in the middle of the field. He threw it behind him. looks like Buffalo is, well, they look like they might make a decision about going for it here, but that ball just didn't come out right. Look, there's Schreck right open in the middle of the field. I mean, there's first down marker on it. Pretty accurate last week against Ohio State, completing 19 of 32. That's the first bad pass that he's had here today.
Last season, Buffalo was last in FBS in punting. Tyler Grassman averaged 35 yards a game, but last week much better. The second go-around at Buffalo, 40 yards a kick against Ohio State. And this one to Levi Norwood is a fair catch at the 16. It's a 29-yard punt. 23rd ranked Baylor and Buffalo tied at 7. Midway through the first quarter, 7-7. Bryce Petty, second start at quarterback. He's the new conductor of the Baylor offense. Let's see what he and the Baylor offense can do in today's Geico playbook.
Well, they're the super spread option offense. They spread you out. Look, there's 3 guys outside the hash mark. So they're going to make you defend horizontally all the way to the sideline, as they do on this throw right now. It's just a hit screen. Get it out to the widest man, Robbie Rhodes in this case. But then they stretch you vertically, like they do to Tevin Reese on this touchdown catch last week against Wofford. Straight speed right down the sideline. So they spread you vertically, they spread you horizontally, and then in the middle, they make you defend every blade of grass here. It is very tough, and the speed is what really magnifies the scheme of Baylor.
The speed was on display when Bryce Petty found Tevin Reese for a short pass play that Reese turned into a 61-yard touchdown on Baylor's first drive. The tight end, Jordan Niver, is in. Fake to Seastrunk. Up top. There's the speed again. Reese got behind the defense and catches on the sideline as Baylor quickly moves into Buffalo Bulls territory.
Well, you can see that Baylor wants to strike, and they're going to make them think deep. They went max protection that time, and they just let it fly, and Petty is incredibly accurate on these deep balls.
44 yards and an inside handoff. Room for Seastrunk. Another first down for Baylor. They are quickly on the move. Remember, Baldy, the first touchdown drive was 54 seconds.
Yeah, well, they led last year in college football, Oregon had 23 touchdowns of less than a minute. Baylor was second with 19 touchdowns under a minute in drive a year ago.
At the 25, Seastrunk stutter steps. Great move to the sideline near the 10.
He put a mark in the deep freeze. You know what I mean? That's what you call that. When that guy stutters and the feet stop, the defense has to stop. So that's what you call the deep freeze. And then Lou Tepper right now, he knows about the deep freeze. He's been coaching a long time in college football.
35 years of Division I experience. Seastrunk again. That's Shock Linwood. First carry for Shock Linwood. They give Seastrunk a breather after 2 14-yard runs.
Well, they're running a play right now under 17 seconds.
And Linwood, the redshirt freshman, dives at the goal line. He is in. Baylor has scored quickly again. Touchdown, Baylor.
It really is a blur. There is no time to substitute if you're Buffalo. There is no time to catch your breath. Jeff Quinn doesn't even have a chance to say anything right there. He's speechless for one of the few times you ever see Jeff Quinn.
Further review.
Now the question is, did Shock Linwood get into the end zone or not?
Well,
if it stands, he had 1 touchdown run last week, so it will be the second for the redshirt freshman.
That's just an inside zone. Good push. I don't know. It was ruled a touchdown. All right.
Will there be enough to overturn it?
We'll see if we get a look here. You can't tell if the knee is down right there. You can see the ball crossing the plane, but you can't tell if the knee was down. If you don't see a picture with the knee on the ground before the ball crosses the plane, they got to keep it a touchdown. And I think they will. See the elbow hitting the white stripe, ball across it.
Okoye Houston, the safety, came up in run support and put a pretty good hit on Linwood.
This is the only time you can catch your breath is in a review right now. I think the whole everybody in Floyd Casey Stadium right now is like trying to catch their breath. Like,
everybody here in the press box.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
The first touchdown drive for Baylor was 54 seconds. The second touchdown drive is 51 seconds. It ends with Shock Linwood plunging in. Short yardage carry for Linwood, who had the last 2 carries of the drive. There were 2 carries for Seastrunk, and there was that long pass play from Petty to Reese. All right, let's check out the deep freeze again. The move by Lake Seastrunk.
That's what we used to do to Barry Sanders. Put the camera on the feet.
Baylor about to kick off to put Buffalo back on offense. Their last series on offense saw their starting running back, Bo Oliver, hurt himself on a run near midfield.
Well, you can't really tell here, Mark, exactly what happened. He's in a pile. He gets up a little slow, gets help, get up on his feet, and then you see him kind of limping a little bit. And then he's giving that signal like, come get me. Something doesn't feel right. So he comes out of the game and kind of limps out, and then they start looking at that left knee, and that's never good. Never, if you're a running back. Just looking at the inside of that knee and where the pain is. We'll take a look and monitor that closely.
Shock Linwood, 3-yard touchdown run to cap an 82-yard drive, 5 plays. There's Oliver. If he does not go back in, Devin Campbell and Anthony Taylor, numbers 21 and 14 respectively, are the options for Buffalo. Campbell is back deep along with Okoye Houston for this kickoff.
Bo Oliver's got the school record with almost 1,400 yards rushing 2 years ago. Had an injured season a year ago.
Still ran for over 800 yards as a junior. He's from Miami. Fielded by Campbell. Campbell slows up over the 20-yard line. Baylor leads Buffalo 14-7 as it's time for a Fox College football game break. Let's check in with Laura McKeeman.
Well, thank you, Mark. We're going to go to San Diego State at number 3 Ohio State. And Braxton Miller scrambling up the middle, gets hit real hard. He left the game, and before this, 2 for 2 with 30 yards. So the backup quarterback Guyton in, 14-0, Ohio State up early.
Back at Waco, Floyd Casey Stadium. Buffalo is 1-10 all-time against ranked teams. They defeated Ball State in 2008. Anthony Taylor, not Brandon Oliver, in at running back. Oliver is on the bench for Buffalo, but Anthony Taylor, who did carry it 3 times last week against Ohio State, carried there.
It's harder to make right now. It looks like Bo Oliver is buckling his helmet up, which means he might be going back in the game. In the meantime, probably just told Taylor, you got the series. We'll see how it goes.
Taylor, 5'10", 210 pounds. Devin Campbell is in. They faked it to him. Licata keeps the line of scrimmage, not much more. Sam Hall read that attempted trickery.
Well, they ran it right at Sean Oakman, the defensive end, the 6'9" defensive end, who I'm fascinated by as a player. How he got out of Pennsylvania to Baylor is a long story, too long to tell in between plays, but he's still learning how to get in a 3-point stance. He only can get in a 4-point stance right now. He's still learning how to play the game. Here he is like in an Ed Too Tall Jones 4-point stance.
Had 3.5 tackles for loss last week. Buffalo, 3rd and 10. They're 2 of 4 now on 3rd down conversions as Phil Bennett's defense gets the hold for the Bears.
Yeah, and then protecting the backside of Licata is Andre Davis going up against Oakland. Pretty good matchup right here. I mean, check it out now. I mean, Oakland's going to go speed to power. He gets that left hand in. Davis is just battling. Of course, he falls on him afterwards. By the way, you practice those falls on top of those defensive linemen. But pretty good rush by Oakland on that play.
Andre Davis from Cheektowaga, New York, just outside of Buffalo.
Say that again. I love saying Cheektowaga.
Your brother used to live there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Levi Norwood on the punt return. Tyler Grassman kicked it to him. And a return near midfield for Norwood. 18 yards on the run back. Blake Bean on special teams with a tackle.
Well, listen, we're going to see Baker Mayfield after us here today. But that's the beauty of college football. And any given Saturday, somebody can bust out. And here's a walk-on freshman, true freshman, out there in Lubbock, going to make his first home start today. throwing 4 touchdowns and over 400 yards. What a performance against SMU. And B.J. Catalan, the big kickoff return for TCU last week. Special team player of the week.
And TCU won earlier today here on Fox College Football, defeating Southeastern Louisiana 38-17. First down. Petty going up top, down the sideline. They're looking for Robbie Rhodes. Incomplete. He was out of bounds. Marcus Baker back on coverage.
It is, Mark, but he didn't miss it by much now. And it's clear their game plan today is to strike deep on Buffalo. They think they've got a speed advantage. I mean, it's still a heck of a catch by Robbie Rhodes. Kind of twisting in the air. He just needs to work on getting his feet inside that white stripe.
Robbie Rhodes is a true freshman.
This is what football has become. It is signaled from the sideline. There are no huddles anymore.
Hand off Seastrunk. Seastrunk into the secondary, sliding at the first down marker. A little bit short. Nick Gilbo among those on the tackle.
When I watch Seastrunk run, Mark, it almost seems like when he gets tackled, he's surprised that he gets tackled. I mean, he expects to stay on his feet.
He's on his feet here into the secondary again. Seastrunk is down inside the Buffalo 35. Tamaris Bell back to stop him inside the 35. I just realized something. Over 10 minutes in, we haven't said Khalil Mack's name on defense for Buffalo.
Well, Khalil Mack is over here right now.
13 seconds between those two plays. A pass to the far sideline, caught. Antoine Goodley, who had his best day at Baylor last week with 5 catches for 90 yards.
He is an amazing player, Mark. You know, he squats over 600 pounds. He's the second strongest guy on the team at 225 pounds and a wide receiver. Very tough to bring down with that leg strength.
From Midland, Reese, first down to the Buffalo 20, skips out of bounds.
And that was Goodley throwing a block for Tevin Reese. I mean, that's a heck of a side over there. Anton Goodley outside, Tevin Reese inside. I mean, watch the block right now.
A running back body and able to throw a block. And in at running back, Shock Linwood. A first down for Baylor. They pick up 8 on 2nd and 5.
No, you're right. We have not mentioned Khalil Mack's name. And here he is down at the bottom.
Had 9 tackles last week. First and goal at the 8. Big hole. Seastrunk blasting into the end zone. Baylor up 20-7.
It is flat out fireworks here at Baylor. It is as exciting an offense as there is in college football. They climbed into the top 25 this week, right, with their 69-point performance against Wofford, step up against Buffalo, and really 3 possessions and 3 quick strike touchdowns, and everybody seems to touch the ball.
Aaron Jones puts 23rd ranked Baylor in front 21-7 with the PAT. The touchdown run for Lake Seastrunk from 8 yards out, and Khalil Mack was collateral damage on this run.
Well, here he is, okay? Now, he's reading the play, so he's got his eyes in the backfield, but what he doesn't see is the left tackle, Spencer Drango, who basically takes him to the ground. Lake Seastrunk made that drive. Look, there it is. Here he's just getting driven by Drango, the left tackle. Meanwhile, Seastrunk is scoring, and so far they have not been bothered by Khalil Mack's presence on the field.
Spencer Drango, 315 pounds, sophomore left tackle from Cedar Park, just outside of Austin, and he plowed the road, among others, for that Lake Seastrunk 8-yard touchdown run. Seastrunk scored twice last week, so 3 touchdowns on the season now for the young running back for Baylor, who before the season pronounced himself as a Heisman Trophy hopeful, and he's done nothing to hurt his hopes here in the first week of change.
He hasn't, Mark, and when you have a name like Lake Seastrunk, it's one of those names you don't forget. And then if you can back it up with the type of play that he has, and he's really an all-purpose back. We haven't seen him catch the ball. They don't throw to him that much. They don't have to. But really, when you can back it up, it's one of those names like, oh, if you're in Cheektowaga, New York, right, you're going to remember Lake Seastrunk.
Kickoff for Aaron Jones. Devin Campbell, touchback. If you read the articles about Lake Seastrunk, you learn that his mother named him Lake because for that very reason. Yeah. She didn't want him to have an ordinary name. She wanted something memorable for Lake.
Yeah, and you know, He originally left Temple, Texas, and went up to Oregon, and things didn't work out. He missed his grandmother back here. She wasn't doing well. He wanted to be with her. And
after the play was over, personal foul, late hit, number 16 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down, Buffalo.
Personal foul on Kendall Ehrlich.
Well, we had mentioned Lake Seastrong's, the braids, the Baylor braids. You know, he keeps performing like this. That's going to be a fashion statement. I mean, I can see other kids going, I want to look like Lake Seastrong, and I want to play like him. Because kids do emulate these stars in college football.
Last week, he averaged 10 yards a rush. This week, over 9 yards. And Licata in the pistol, looking to throw, stepping out. The penalty moved him out to the 40 after that personal foul after the play on the kickoff. But then Licata is sacked. This was a Baylor defense that had 6 sacks last week. Terrence Lloyd with that one.
Yeah, well, Lloyd and McAllister, really, it was good coverage down the field. Because McAllister and Lloyd had time to really work the 2 tackles of Buffalo and close the pocket on Licata. Just a straight 4-man rush.
Second down and 12. Licata, protection. Up top, they're looking for Newts. They found him. Going deep, Alex Newts inside the Baylor 15. They'll spot him at the 13. Once again, they strike up top to the wide receiver Newts.
I tell you, he is so smooth. He is so smooth now. He's working on Joe Williams down at the bottom here. And he just gets a step on inside on, like he did on the flea flicker in the opening drive. 2 huge plays to Newts, and he's got one of those strides about him that didn't look like he was going to get to that ball, but he does have another gear when the ball's in the air.
Last year, 65 catches, 1,015 yards. Today, 2 grabs, 103 yards, and also drew a pass interference penalty. Brandon Oliver is back in. Nothing doing, though, on the first down handoff. Lost a yard or 2. McAllister and Sam Hall.
Well, 2 guys that have been injured today. Bryce Hager along with Bo Oliver, both of them back on the field right now, so that's a good sign. McAllister with the pressure a couple plays ago.
Had the only defensive touchdown in the opening week in the Big 12 with a 25-yard interception return against Wofford. They need 12 on second down at the Baylor 15, gunning it over the middle. Newts, touchdown, Buffalo.
I gotta tell you right now, Licata's limping off the field. Didn't see what had happened. Maybe something happened on the sack a couple plays ago, but Jeff Quinn loves it. He said he wants a tough-minded football team, and I think he's got one. They were down 23-0 in the Horseshoe at Ohio State last week. They had no quit in this football team. That's a big drive for Buffalo, answering those 3 quick scores by Baylor.
Jeff Quinn told us this week. Oh, they blocked the extra point. They blocked the extra point. Ahmad Dixon. Patrick Clark's extra point was blocked.
They've got athletes on Baylor now. That's a good sign that they're not just giving the extra point. They're fighting to keep every point off the board right now.
15 yards. Licata finding Alex Newts. They gave him time to throw.
Well, they did. Play action pass right now. Double teaming on McAllister. Licata got a chance to step into it. There's Newts on the outside now. Straight post. There's really a double slant. The inside receiver went inside, and then Newts did. And got a little wobble on it, but it got exactly where it needed to. Newts did a good job of covering up, protecting it.
Then Ahmad Dixon, Baldy, with the extra point block.
Coming right off the left side. He was just coming, knifing right through. And Alex Newts has been everything advertised and everything we watched on film this week, Mark.
Yes.
And everything that Jeff Quinn, his coaches, talked about. He's been all of that. And it's still only the first quarter.
Minute 41 seconds on the drive. 4 plays, 60 yards. Alex Newts is 4th amongst seniors in FBS now in touchdown receptions.
21 now.
Yep. Cody Hoffman of BYU who will play Texas later.
22 touchdowns now. Chasing Cody Hoffman, out there in Provo tonight.
They're going to run out of the end zone. Darius Jones cutting across the field. Didn't have the speed to turn the corner and upended at the 10-yard line. Baylor leads 21-13. Time for a Fox College football game break. Let's check in with Laura McKeeman.
Well, hey, Mark, in number 2, Oregon at Virginia. First quarter, DeAnthony Thomas, a 40-yard touchdown run to give the Ducks a 21-0 lead at the time. His second touchdown of the game, and Virginia did put some points on the board, so it's 21-7 in early second quarter.
Well, Baldy, Buffalo has shown us that they can hang with the Baylor offense. They've driven for 2 scores here in the first quarter, but now can the Buffalo Bulls defense come up with a stop?
Well, they need turnovers, and they need to take away, so they have to gamble a little bit. Now, you can see that they, against the receivers, they're 3 over 2 on one side, 2 over 1 on the other.
Field position may be their friend here since Baylor has to start at their own 11. Nick Gilbo with the tackle on the first down run.
Well, we spoke with the defense coordinator, Lou Tepper. I asked him if he had an extra pot of coffee this week, staying up late at night, trying to slow this team down.
Second down and 7, and this time Petty keeps it with a 15 for a gain of 2.
That's one thing we haven't seen from Bryce Petty much last week nor this week so far, is his ability to pull that ball down and run with it. It's not what he's in there to do, but they got to keep him honest. And Buffalo does a full hockey shift here, changing personnel, getting fresh bodies on the field for this third down.
Bryce Petty did have a scramble last week and was also hit late out of bounds on that particular play. As they line up over the 16, there's a timeout.
Buffalo, their first charge of the half, 30-second timeout.
Jeff Quinn, 9-28 his record as the head coach at the University of Buffalo. They call a timeout here with 1:16 left of the first quarter. Baylor in front by 8. Last week was the first start for Bryce Petty, and his numbers really stack up very favorably against RG3 and Nick Florence in their first career starts at Baylor as you compare the 3.
They really do. You know, and so much of that is the system that Art Briles and Phil Montgomery have put in place here, where they give you a lot of easy completions. They kind of take a lot of the mental gymnastics out of it, you know, and they allow you to play fast. Of course, I think the entire country can't wait for Monday night to see the debut of RG3 against the Philadelphia Eagles and just what that knee is going to be like coming back from ACL reconstructive surgery.
After the timeout by Buffalo, it's 3rd down and 5. Petty, protection, over the middle, and off to the races at the 30. Antoine Goodley showing the speed, makes a man miss. Goodley racing for the end zone. Touchdown, Baylor, 84 yards.
When I say spread football, it is super spread. They stretch you, and then they put you in space with guys that can flat out fly. If this was flag football, Buffalo would not have ripped the flag off of Anton Goodley's body. They didn't touch him on that play.
I think, as you put it, when we talked earlier in the week, and you said it on the broadcast today, Baylor makes you defend every blade of grass on the field, and that's a very difficult thing to do.
I mean, it's just a quick slant. I mean, it's nothing more than that. It's a route that Buffalo has seen. I mean, here it is. He's just coming straight into the middle right now. There it is, quick slant. But if your feet aren't moving and everybody isn't moving together, you're going to get that seam. And then if you put your morning cup of coffee on the top of Anton Goodley's head, you wouldn't spill a drop. The guy is super smooth now.
He gave Carlos Lamons a little bit of a hesitation that froze him for just a split second and had the room to stay inside on the run to the end zone.
That was perceptive. And by the way, in Waco, it's iced coffee in the morning. Okay, it's not normal.
I mean, the kickoff temperature was 97 degrees, Baldy.
Yes.
Nothing quite like a bracing hot cup of coffee on a hot Central Texas morning.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, it is. It literally. Just think of a piece of clay and just keep stretching it and stretching it. It gets weaker and weaker. And then really the thing that makes this offense so difficult is the speed. And so Lou Tepper, who has been coaching in this game a long time, he was there at Virginia Tech when the great Bruce Smith was there. He's coached 20 linebackers in the NFL. He hasn't had to defend much like this before.
To the goal line, Devin Campbell. Perry. Special teams charging down the field, and they hit Campbell at the 15-yard line. Baylor up 28-13. Fox College Saturday continues on Fox Sports 1 as Louisiana Lafayette takes on Kansas State. While on Fox, West Virginia battles 16th-ranked Oklahoma in the Big 12. Then in the nightcap, Washington State looks to upset 25th-ranked USC. Fox Sports is your home for college football all season long.
But if you're Buffalo's defense right now, I mean, you're hanging your head because you've practiced all week, but you can't assimilate the speed, their tempo, the temperature. And so they're trying all these different things, and nothing is working right now.
And Alex Zordich is in rather than Licata. Now remember that after the touchdown pass to Alex Newts, Licata limped off the field. So Alex Zordich from Youngstown, Ohio, a senior who was a starter for much of last season. He is now the quarterback for Buffalo.
The great Zordich family. I mean, his dad played at Penn State, played in the NFL for a long time, was coaching with the Eagles up until last year. His brother with the Carolina Panthers right now.
The handoff to Oliver. Oliver surging over the 15 to the 18. Yeah, his dad, Mike Zordich, Jets, Eagles, among others, Cardinals in his career.
His dad, Mike Zordich, would have a hard time playing safety against this Baylor offense, I'll tell you that. And his dad was a great tackler. They're going to try and get themselves a little bit of a break as the first quarter is winding down. 6 touchdowns scored here today in the first quarter alone.
You saw Licata on the sideline. Zordich is now in at quarterback. 6 touchdowns in the first quarter, as Brian Baldinger said, including the 9th longest pass play in Baylor history. 84 yards from Petty to Goodley. A host of big plays in the first quarter. After one, it's 28-13. Baylor leads Buffalo. You're watching Fox College Football. Our Coors Light game summary on Fox College Football with Baylor leading Buffalo 28-13 at Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco. On the Coors Light game summary, we see that Alex Newts has 117 receiving yards for Buffalo, but Baylor 4 drives, 4 touchdowns. Their slowest scoring drive was 1 minute and 16 seconds. Their quickest was 51 seconds.
Well, they've run 16 plays and scored 4 touchdowns.
Now third down for Alex Zordich, and he finds the favorite target, Newts, at the sideline, and Newts over the 25 for a first down. Xavier Howard.
All right, so Phil Bennett right now is just irate on the sidelines of Baylor because that's the 4th catch for Newts, and they've just given him way too much cushion.
First down.
I mean, there's just no way you. I mean, it's clear that this kid is a big-time player. 4th catch, over 120 yards. Got a touchdown here today.
Drew a pass interference penalty. Oh, Zordich turned his head. The snap went behind him. It's recovered by Anthony Taylor for Buffalo, but a huge loss all the way back to the 10.
Well, you get a new quarterback in there. Trevor Sales probably saw the foot go up, and Zordich comes in, and whatever signal he gives for the ball, that's what Trevor Sales saw. So he's tapping his helmet for the formation and the play, and the ball goes right by him, and really is a heads-up play by Taylor to go recover it.
Sales from LaPorte, Indiana at center. Transfer from Delaware State. Started every game at center last year. Now it's 2nd and a Central Texas mile here for Buffalo. And 3rd and 27 after the 1-yard run. Bo Blackshear tackled Campbell.
See, right now, Mark, you can't overcome that type of a play. That's snafu. And Jeff knows that. I mean, he knows that if you put yourself in a hole against this team, all you're trying to do is keep their offense off the field, and you give yourself a bad play on first down, it really hurts.
Zordich with Licata on the sideline. A pass completed to Fred Lee. Lee converted a 3rd down earlier, but that was 3rd and 10, a far bigger difference than 3rd down and 27.
Well, yeah, of course it is. And you know, the thing is, Mark, is you go down there, you get the first down to Newts, and okay, we got to drive. We can keep this thing moving, and all of a sudden the ball snapped right by the quarterback's head. However, that goes wrong, and of course Licata's on the sideline. He's out of the game. He came limping off in the series. What you want to do?
And the thing about it is much better today on 3rd down. So Down. Baylor leads Buffalo in the second quarter, 28-13. Fox College Football is brought to you by Whataburger. Try one of Whataburger's all-time favorites, 24 hours a day. And by Fred Loya Insurance. Take the 10-minute challenge and save. Baylor's offense has been in quick strike mode again today, and they have their 5th possession of the game. Touchdowns on the first 4, an average of 4 plays per drive, and an average of just under 1 minute per drive.
That's the offensive line of Buffalo. They all got headbands on. And so the headbands are soak up the sweat, maybe throw a little ice down the back of your jersey right here, sit in front of the fan. I mean, they're hogs. I mean, so you've got to find ways to cool yourself down out here and keep your heads up at the same time. There's no way to prepare for this heat.
Seastrunk joining the corner, up the sideline on the first down run inside the Buffalo 40. The game time temperature was 97 degrees. That's the kind of heat we're talking about. We had a shot of a thermometer on the field, Baldy, that was at 115.
Well, it's different on the field. It's different, and I use that term, hog, with endearment. I was a hog at one time in my life, and I did all that. So,
who just took the thermometer, by the way? Seastrunk hesitates, surges inside the 35. First down. Whitney Sherry on defense for Buffalo with the tackle, but Seastrunk picks up 7 and a first.
What I like about Seastrunk is that guy has great control of his body.
Quick pass, Petty up top, looking, end zone, incomplete.
Sometimes Tevin Reese is so fast you underthrow him like that. I mean, he was running right behind the defense again and almost had another one of those blurred touchdowns. I mean, he's right behind the defense again. What's the summer song? Blurred Lines. You know, that's Robin Thicke right now.
Yes.
That really should be the theme song of this offense.
Seastrunk inside the 30 on the second down handoff. Art Briles would appreciate that because, as he told us before week 1, play calling on offense is sort of like songwriting.
Yeah. Well, Art Briles, look, they're trying to get guys in as there it is.
It's a quick pass. They go to the tight end, Jordan Niver.
I think Art Briles loves that. When he sees a full change of defense and then they're trying to get a play off, Art Briles is excited. Like, get it up, just go, just snap it, just throw it. That Jordan Niver might be the best physical specimen on the entire team. He's got full-grown body now, 5 years here, transfer from Stanford, can do it all at tight end.
10 passes for 80 yards last year. Swing it out to Corey Coleman. And Coleman fighting for extra yardage to the Buffalo 10.
Well, they're running a play right now, about a play every 14 seconds here. And so it is, no matter how you try to prepare for it, it's dizzying.
Goodley is in the backfield. They hand it off to him. It's controlled chaos. A play every 14, 15, 16 seconds for the Baylor offense. Khalil Mack with a tackle there.
Well, Goodley went from wide receiver to tailback on that play. Now he comes back out here to the right wide receiver position, all the way outside the numbers.
First and goal. Petty, the keeper at the 6, bounces off a tackle into the end zone.
I don't think he meant to score his first rushing touchdown of the year, of his career, but he's bobbled the snap, and rather than try and risk handing it off, he just see if he could rescue the play.
And I would say he did.
And he ran right behind. You know, if you bobble the snap, all right, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can hand it off to you, Mark. You know what you do? You find your best offensive lineman, Cyril Richardson, and you run right up his back, and that's just what he did.
Right behind the left guard, Cyril Richardson, the consensus All-American from North Crowley High School just outside of Fort Worth.
Watch this snap.
Petty, though, will take it in from 6 yards out. Baylor up 35-13.
CPI Security's InTouch system puts you in control of your security and home. With the push of a button, InTouch can arm your system, lock your doors, control your thermostat and lights. Through text and video notifications, InTouch gives you real-time knowledge and keeps you connected to what matters most. Install the InTouch home automation system free and will include an InTouch thermostat, fire communicator, and your choice of a keyless door lock or high-definition camera with night vision.
I won! I won! I won! I won!
Jumbo bucks just got bigger.
Hooray!
Looks like some people already knew that. Take your chance to instantly win up to $5 million. Play the all-new Millionaire Jumbo Buck Scratcher, new from the Georgia Lottery.
My name's Lindsay.
And I'm Justin. I joined Christian Mingle because I wasn't meeting the people out in where I was living or the community where I was at.
Pretty sure it was the first day. I was just going through the pictures of the people, and I finally saw him, and then I sent him the spark, and after that, it just clicked. Meeting Justin through Christian Mingle was view it as a gift from God.
Without Christian Mingle, I have no idea how we could have met.
Joining is easy and free. Join ChristianMingle.com today.
Braves fans, here's another chance to win a Delta getaway, including 2 round-trip tickets, 2 nights accommodations, and $250. Just text Delta to South. That's Delta to 76884. The winner will be announced Monday, September 16th when the Braves are battling in the nation's capital. And Medallion members, don't forget, the Sky Miles Medallion lot at Turner Field is available for your convenience at all Braves home games. Delta, the official airline of your Atlanta Braves. Text Delta to 76884. Message and data rates may apply. Entrants may receive 1 text message confirming entry. Winner may be contacted by text message.
The 5th Baylor touchdown to put them up 22 points, 35-13, was a run from 6 yards out. Bryce Petty started with a bobbled snap.
Yeah. Well, when you bobble a snap, what you want to do is you don't want to take one bad play and lead it to another bad play. And so you just get bodies moving up there. Cyril Richardson. I mean, Bryce Petty looks like a linebacker himself at 235 pounds. And so bodies are just bouncing off of him. So they've got a combination here, Mark. They've got size, athletes, speed everywhere, and they got a system, a proven system right here. And then if you start running a play every 13 seconds in 100+ degree heat, I'd say you got an advantage there.
I think that when we talked earlier this week, one thing that you said that I thought was so appropriate, this Baylor offense has a lot of stars, and they're getting a chance to be introduced to the nation today.
Yeah, well, you know, they climbed into the top 25 poll this week. They're 23. The highest Art Briles team has ever been ranked this early in the season. They're going to be on the radar of everybody in this country.
We'll have a week off, then play Louisiana Monroe here in 2 weeks. Then another week off before starting Big 12 play on October the 5th against West Virginia. There's the big leg of the kicker, Aaron Jones.
Yeah, and of course, you know, later tonight, right after this game, Texas playing at BYU, Oklahoma and West Virginia.
Yep.
Meeting, so all eyes that are Baylor Bear fans and Big 12 fans will be tuned into those 2 games.
Earlier today on Fox Sports 1, Oklahoma State defeated Texas San Antonio. Joe Licata, back end, was out the last series. Trips to the right. Licata, a lot of time, but then hit as he throws. It's incomplete. Sean Oatman, 6'9", long arms, was chasing him down, and so was Terrell Brooks, who's getting a chance to play today.
Yeah, well, they're 2 deep up front. So Oatman is part of that second group of defensive linemen that go in there. And at 6'9", when he gets his hands up, it's like throwing through redwood trees.
Oakman is the defensive end of the right side. Jamal Palmer, who had 2 fumble recoveries on the left side. Last week, the 2 fumble recoveries. Anthony Taylor running on 2nd down. Baylor has scored 5 touchdowns on 5 possessions, and that's the Buffalo defense on the sideline.
Well, they had practiced against 2 offenses this week to try and simulate the speed of Baylor. And Lou Tepper thought, okay, you know, we saw a great team at Ohio State, undefeated a year ago, 2 in the country. This is more explosive than Ohio State.
3rd and 9. A deep ball down the sideline. Licata going for John Dunmore. Dunmore, a junior from Syracuse. There is a marker down, back up at midfield.
Pass interference. Number 8, defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's the third pass interference penalty called today against Baylor, the second one accepted.
Yeah, and, you know, and as Baylor gets ready, right here is the interference by Morton, who's got a lot of experience. And, look, they just really haven't seen a great passing team yet. So it's certainly an area of concern for Phil Bennett and his defense.
Baylor had 8 penalties last week. They have 3 today. Licata faking the handoff, keeping from his own 41, and wrestled to the turf.
That's good disciplined football. Because really, they took care. You're going to see right now. I mean, here's Hall here. He's just waiting. He's got the quarterback. The way you call this offense when it's a pitch option like that, it's ride, glide, and then the quarterback decides. And that time, Hall took the decision away from the quarterback.
Licata pressured, slung down. Suleiman Masambuco with the sack, but another marker flies in. Masambuco sacked him for a loss of 5, pending the flag.
You sound very excited announcing that name right there, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah, caught my attention.
He's from Trinity High School, the noted program in Euless, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Personal foul. Chop block. Number 32, offense. 15-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Saw a couple of those last week for Buffalo not get called against Ohio State. But Oliver on this chop block, and it moves it back to the 25.
Well, here's Oliver. All right, so somebody's engaged right now, and then, oh, here it is. You see, you got the right tackle engaged right now, and then Oliver's going to take his knee. So that's the right call. Player safety is important, and it was well called.
Buffalo needs 26 on second down for their own 25. Running Oliver. Not much room off the sideline. Chris McAllister making the tackle. 9:40 remaining. First half, 35-13 Baylor.
Okay, we've seen this a couple of times now with this Buffalo offense, that it's gotten second and out of hand. But really, that's your playmaker. I mean, you might as well throw the ball to him on second and long. Try and get half of it back and then try to convert to him. He's the one guy right now that Baylor has not been able to stop.
Newts is lined up out wide to the left. That's where they're going with a deep ball down the sideline, and it's intercepted by Baylor. On the return, Xavier Howard got inside of Newts, makes the interception, and runs it back near the 40 of the Bears.
See, I thought Newts looked tired on that play. I mean, that ball is a little underthrown. It's a little bit inside. He can't let that ball get intercepted, and he just looked fatigued. Take nothing away from Baylor's play on the ball.
There is an injured player for Buffalo. .905 remaining in the first half. Buffalo scored first, but it's 35-13 Baylor here in the second quarter. And when we return, we'll join Laura McKeeman at our Fox College football studio for a look at what's coming up at halftime.
Hi, I'm Laura McKeeman, and here's what we have for you on the Fox College Football Halftime Show presented by Arby's. Florida loses the turnover battle against the Canes. We'll tell you all about that one. TCU bounces back from their loss to LSU. Tony Banks joins me at the half as we look at the other top 25 scores. Back to you guys in Waco.
Devin Campbell is a sophomore running back from Youngstown, Ohio. He was the injured player for Buffalo on the previous play, which ended up being an interception for Baylor.
Well, I mean, here he is kind of running with the ball, running to the play. He gets hit by his own man. Kind of an accidental hit right there on the play. Kind of getting looked at on the sideline, just seeing if he's got his wits about him.
Devin Campbell spelled Bo Oliver last year when Oliver missed some games with injury and had 3 100-yard rushing performances. Bryce Petty and the Baylor offense. 274 yards passing for Petty. Low snap. He bobbled a snap a moment ago, then ran it in for a touchdown. There he hands off to Seastrong.
That's the first tackle that I've seen from Khalil Mack. Did a good job of just squeezing it and taking Seastrong down by the shoelaces. He is playing a tight left outside linebacker, now walking away.
Petty throws, caught, 45. Antoine Goodley carries a couple of tacklers to the Buffalo 46.
I'm just watching Mack on that play. So he's the outside linebacker, okay? He starts kind of coming out. The ball's out so quick. He doesn't really have time to even pursue the play to the sideline. It's to the sideline so fast.
He had 9 tackles last week, 2.5 sacks, a pick 6 of 45 yards. But it's been a different story for Mack today, as nothing doing on this first down run for Baylor. Jake Stockman among the Buffalo Bulls on defense.
Well, we've mentioned just speed a lot today from the very beginning of this telecast, and I don't think anybody in the Big Ten, anybody, has the type of speed that Baylor has.
And flying down the sideline, here's more speed as Petty throws, and it's caught down inside the 10 at the 5. And he's juggling it. Reese. Incomplete.
But take nothing away from the throw. The throw is perfect, and it's about as long as throw as you can have. Yeah, it's a good call.
Yep.
Didn't have possession. Yeah, it's moving all the way down. They can strike from anywhere, anytime. This Petty has got a big arm.
And it will leave Baylor with a rare third down, and a long one at that. They are 4 for 4 today on third downs.
There is no back in the backfield. It is 5 wide receivers spread, sideline to sideline.
They need 9. Slant, caught, Goodley, first down and more. Hit hard in the middle of the field by Courtney Lester. It's slow to get up. Tamaris Bell.
Yeah, he got hit at the end of that play, trying to catch Goodley.
.751 remaining in the second quarter.
I tell you, Anton Goodley has had a great start to the 2013 season now. I mean, he's waited a long time for his turn.
Yeah, he's had to bide his time behind Kendall Wright and Terrence Williams and Lanier Sampson.
Yeah. Josh Gordon. But he is making total advantage of his time this year and a difference maker.
Timeout on the field with Baylor up by 22.
Coors Light says don't get flagged for breaking the law. It's a cold, hard fact. 21 means 21. So keep yourself and your friends in the game.
On a searing hot day here in Waco, Buffalo's had to deal with a couple of injuries in the second quarter. The most recent was defensive back Tamaris Bell. He's going to get hit by his own player here, Baldy.
Well, we've seen a couple injuries with these guys hitting their own players because they're chasing speed. And so you can't judge it. He misjudged that Anton Goodley right there, on that play, ended up hitting his own man, Tamaris Bell. And we've seen a couple of injuries like that right now with these guys chasing guys with green jerseys on.
It was a conversion on third down and 9 for Baylor. Now Seastrunk with a seam on the handoff from the Buffalo 28 where they snapped it. Gains 8. Okoye Houston on the stop for Buffalo.
That time, Baylor pulled their left tackle, Spencer Drango. He pulled around and led Seastrunk through the hole.
Seastrunk with his 14th carry of the day. Stood up a defender. Bounced off. Showing speed and strength. He dives for the end zone. He's right there at the goal line. A touchdown for Baylor. That's a great run by Seastrunk.
He shows you all the ability, control, speed, power when he put his head down and just bowled over a Buffalo Bull. And then the explosion out of that hit, and then the one-two, the desire to score. He's got all of the skills that great backs do. But ultimately, vision and balance come naturally to him.
For the second time today, Alan Eck, the referee, will have to look at a Baylor touchdown to see whether or not it will stand or not.
That's a long run for Alan Eck.
On a hot day like this, the hottest game in University at Buffalo football history. They played a 94-degree game in Waco here 3 years ago, 97 today at kickoff.
There's the power. Running over the safety. Now he bounces it out. Now he smells the goal line. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like the right foot had hit the white stripe. So this will be a good review right there before he stretched it out.
Be spotting it around the 2-yard line?
Somewhere around there, Mark, I think. Yeah. I think they'll get this right.
Inbounds
right
there.
Right foot, left foot. Yeah, there it is.
Out of bounds there.
That's a good call. Good call, good review. That's why they review every scoring play. I don't know, come back to the yard line. He tried to keep that left foot in bounds.
Somewhat reminiscent of the way Khalil Mack, right at the pylon, was able to dive last week on his pick 6 for Buffalo.
You know, last week we talked about it. I mean, they were down 23-0 to the Buckeyes, and there was no quitting that team. And it was a hot day, a lot like today. But I think this is a little bit different. This feels different today. They look a little more worn out right now. They need a spark, and you know, it can come from anywhere. Yeah. Okay. The effort is there. Maybe they'll give it to Seastrunk to finish off the drive. No, but Buffalo is a program on the rise. It's not on display here so far today, but they won 1 game in the MAC in Jeff Quinn's first year, 2 games the second year, 3 last year, and they expect to win upwards of 5 or 6 games in the MAC conference, and that's what this is all about. They're the only team in the country right now that has faced 2 ranked opponents on the road to start the season.
They've only been to 1 bowl game since they returned to FBS in 1999.
After further review, the ball carrier stepped out of bounds before the ball broke the play in the goal line. It's 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
Just to get back to that point about Buffalo, they went to the International Bowl in 2008 after they had their only victory over a ranked team. They beat Ball State in the MAC championship game. Turner Gill left a season later. Jeff Quinn now in his 4th year as the head coach, and he's got high hopes about what they'll be able to do in the conference when conference play starts.
And I think right now Jeff Quinn knows that this ball's going right into the belly of Lake Seastrunk. He just wants to see his defense rise up and make him earn his touchdown.
Seastrunk into the belly of the defense. They score 1 play after the review.
Well, they get good push in the middle from Richardson and Huber. And when you put defensive linemen in the end zone, Seastrunk isn't going backwards. He's not going to get stopped like that. He runs behind his pads, get a good forward lean. Add another stat to a growing list of stats for Lake Seastrunk. Since he took over last year, he's got over 1,000 yards rushing. Final 6 games last year and the first 2 this year.
And it's 6 straight games over 100 yards rushing, with the 117 that he's run for today off the heels of 111 last week. A couple of touchdown runs today for the Baylor junior as well.
How about that? 6 straight 100-yard performances. This whole program turned around last year when Seastrunk took over at the running back position. And just take a look at some of the first half. Good cut there in the open field. Knife down to the ground. Look at that bounce. We called this the deep freeze. We had a couple guys miss in the open field. Eyes are up, heads up. Just real decisive going forward. And power. I mean, really all the elements in that highlight package.
The last play, the second Seastrunk touchdown run today. At FBS, he has the longest active streak of 100-yard rushing performances, 6 in a row, bettering Kadeem Carey of Arizona, who has 4. And, of course, in front of every great running back is a great offensive line. And Spencer Drango, Cyril Richardson on the left side, Stephon Huber at center, Desmond Hilliard and Kevin Palmer on the right side are the guys opening up the holes.
Mark, you're coming along in this business.
Thank you.
You're starting to mention the offensive line like that. You're starting to get it.
When I'm working alongside a former offensive lineman, I have no choice.
Well, we are the skilled guys. Our hands are in the dirt or the artificial grass or wherever we play.
Anthony Taylor, by the way, downs it just inside the goal line. A touchback for Buffalo. There's that Baylor offensive line again.
Well, you know, that right side, Hilliard and Palmer. I mean, this is only their 2nd start. I mean, these kids are, I mean, every single series right now, they're kind of growing up, and as they start to get ready here in a couple weeks for their conference season.
And remember that Art Briles had to reconfigure the offensive line after heralded right tackle Troy Baker got hurt in spring practice.
Hey, you never know how,
ACL.
You're right. You never know how that's going to go. And so far, it's been smooth.
And there's hope again that Baker will be back soon for Baylor. Buffalo after the touchback from their own 25. And here is pressure. Licata got it away. He had it through the deep ball to Newts. Down the sideline, shoved out of bounds. Licata hung in, made the throw. Newts caught it all the way to the Baylor 13.
There's no answer right now for Alex Newts. It's one of the great performances in college football you're going to see. This is just a little pump and go. There's the pump. And he takes a hit by Licata, but he hangs in there. He puts it in a perfect all we've seen is Newts get behind this defense all afternoon. And that's got to be a tremendous concern. Because now it's on film. It's on tape for everybody in the Big 12 and across the country to see. If you want to go get deep on Baylor, you can do it.
62 yards. Now the safety valve, Anthony Taylor. Cuts inside, hit at the 10. To the 8.
That's a good call.
Ahmad Dixon, the tackle.
Yeah, I like that call on that screen. After you hit him deep, now you set him up, you invite the pass rush, get it out there in space. Alex Wood, the offensive coordinator. Nice call right there.
Alex Newts, 5 grabs, 179 yards.
I mean, he's gassed, and he just keeps reaching down for a little bit more.
Licata to Fred Lee. Doesn't get that block. Sam Hall, Terrell Burt at the 5.
Well, you right now, if you're Buffalo, you're third and you're 4 yards. Third, 3, I guess. You're 2-down territory. You're going for it here. So no matter what you do, now you're thinking you're 2-down territory. I mean, you got to take one shot to Newts, I think, in just sort of a jump ball type of situation.
He is 6'3", and he's lined up wide left with Taylor in the backfield, Fred Lee in the slot. Licata rolling, and the ball comes out. It's scooped up by Hager at the 10. A return for Bryce Hager. Still on his feet. Midfield for Hager. Fred Lee trying to run him down. Another move by Hager. Hager to the end zone. The run back on defense for the Baylor middle linebacker. Sam Hall's the one who knocked it out, and Bryce Hager, hurt earlier in the game, stumbled and cut and maneuvered his way down the field on a 90-yard return.
Well, that's just a backbreaker. I mean, you do everything right if you're Buffalo to get the ball down there, to try and cut the score a little bit, and then you get a dagger right through the heart. McAllister, a little dinged on the play. Sam Hall knocked it loose, and really Licata just held that ball too long. And Hager's conditioning now to play middle linebacker, to go 90 yards in this kind of searing heat and to finish the play, to stumble at one point during almost like you're losing your balance. You could clip that one, put it right on the resume reel.
Yes, indeed. We'll be looking at that one for a long time. An 88-yard official number on the fumble return.
They just get contributions from so many different people right now.
So back-to-back weekends with a defensive touchdown for Baylor. Chris McAllister had the only defensive touchdown in the Big 12 last week when he had the interception run back of 25 yards. And Bryce Hager scores the TD for Baylor.
That's just a dream play for a middle linebacker.
Aaron Jones, now 123 straight extra points.
All right, so they went away from Newts, who I thought was the go-to guy. It's a little sprint action to the right. And here's Hall coming off the backside. Runs into McAllister, who went down, and now here comes Hager. See that? He went for the arm. It's a perfect play by Hall, not to just go for the sack, but go for the sack fumble. Sack, watch that right hand come down and strip that ball. That's what you're taught. You practice that, you rehearse it, you prepare for it. When you get your chance, you don't want to screw it up. And then Bryce Hager just waiting for the celebration to begin. I'm surprised he's not down on his knees, just exhausted right there. Remember, Bryce Hager had come out of the game on Buffalo's first touchdown run when he got dinged, but keeps his balance there. Now he's got his head up. He's looking for a cut, makes that. Picks up a block from Lackey.
And the run back for Bryce Hager, I think the official number is going to be changed to 91 yards. The second longest fumble return in Baylor history, only bettered by Charles McClanahan, 96 yards against Missouri in 1974. That was the miracle on the Brazos season for Grant Tapp when Baylor went to the Cotton Bowl. 49-13, the Bears lead, 5:18 left of the second quarter. Here's a Fox College football game break with Laura McKeeman.
Well, thank you, Mark. And some SEC action for you. Number 6, Georgia versus number 11, South Carolina. Arthur Lynch with a 3-yard reception from Aaron Murray to put the Bulldogs up after one quarter. It's 10-3.
Personal foul, number 92, the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down, Buffalo.
There was a penalty, a personal foul on Baylor on the kickoff team, Jamal Palmer. So they're going to get 15 yards. Buffalo will get good field position to start this drive.
There's Palmer right there near the 15.
Timeout. Baylor, their first charge of the half. 30-second timeout.
I think what this timeout is all about is really to give Baylor's defense kind of a blow after they just ran, you know, the fumble back 91 yards.
And you had players along with Bryce Hager running the length of the field.
Yeah, and really I think the message here from Phil Bennett in the middle of that huddle right there is we don't need to play cheap. We don't need any extracurricular activities. We want to play clean, play the whistle, and nothing over it.
The students, there's our thermometer. We saw it disappeared. We had a camera shot of it earlier. The Baylor students have our thermometer.
Well, I think they're relishing in their heat. You know, like, it doesn't feel that hot when you've got 49 points up on the board and you come in week 2 and you're the 23rd ranked team in the country and climbing.
Yeah, with an arrow pointing up. A handoff on first down. Buffalo, good field position after the personal foul. Moves it out to the 40.
Is it a bad cliche, Mark, if I say that the only thing hotter than the weather is the Baylor offense right now?
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
I try to stay away from those.
Though. It's appropriate. Under 5 minutes to play in the first half. 49 on the board for Baylor here in the first half. Anthony Taylor is wrestled down by Sam Hall after a short run off the right side.
Well, that's Hall again on the same type of blitz that he had on the last forced fumble, just coming off the edge, unblocked, and just chasing the play from behind.
Senior nickelback from Katy. Sam Hall had nearly 90 tackles last season. He's had 3 picks in each of the last 2 years.
Yeah, him and Ahmad Dixon had changed positions coming into this season.
Buffalo needs a conversion. On their own 47, they need 3. Quick pass. Oh, Newts. Newts, the sure-handed receiver for Buffalo, unable to go to the ground and come up with it.
Now, this is just a short drop where all offensive linemen are going to cut block, throw the blade out there to get the hands down to get the ball out here to Newts. I mean, this is designed.
The coordinated 5-man cut block, Baldy.
Yeah. Well, it was all perfectly executed up front by Davis and Carlson and Sales. I mean, it's the only drop that Newts has had all day.
And this is a fake punt. And they run it off the right side and get stuffed. Well, Baylor read it. Lackey with the tackle.
Well, it's a well-coached team, and so they're not fooled by things. And Jeff Quinn's doing what he has to do. He's trying to steal a possession, trying to hang on to the ball anything he can. Right now, he's grabbing for anything he can. And to Baylor's, really to their credit, they're disciplined on that play. They weren't fooled by it. Lackey was ready for it. Here's Lackey right here. Reads his keys. Good job going for the outside leg, where if he doesn't get him, he's going to turn him into the pursuit. I mean, I don't blame Jeff Quinn for faking a punt right there and some of the trickery that they use today. Anything he can right now.
C-Strunk, or the fake to C-Strunk and the pass by Petty to Niver.
Niver came down funny on his back that time.
Second catch today for Jordan Niver, cut down by Adam Redden.
He got cut down and he fell right on his tailbone. I mean, he was going to get this cut right here. He sees it coming, and now he can't really protect himself. Man, right on the back of that tailbone. That's smarts.
And that's a big man.
He is a big man. I'm impressed. I'm one of the really underappreciated players in this Baylor program is Jordan Niver. Guy that started off at Stanford, recruited out there with Jimmy Harbaugh, some of those tight ends that they had at Stanford that they have proliferated into the NFL. Zach Ertz in Philadelphia right now, and Levine Toilolo down in Atlanta. I go through the whole list of tight ends that they had up there.
6'6", 260. Jordan Niver, the senior from just outside of Houston in spring. And he's being tended to right now with 4:05 left in the first half. Coming up on Fox College Football Halftime, presented by Arby's, Lauren McKeeman and Tony Banks with the highlights. Florida upset by the Canes. Miami with the victory. TCU bounced back from last week's loss to LSU. They defeat Southeastern Louisiana. And more top 25 action. That's Fox College Football Halftime, presented by Arby's.
Al Golden down there at the U, getting things turned around, getting off to a good start. That's a huge win for the Hurricanes. I think any time right now, with the dominance of the SEC, Mark, anytime you can take down an SEC opponent, it sends big flags up around the country like, wow, that doesn't happen.
For example, like Clemson, although ranked very high, but Clemson taking down Georgia last week.
Yeah, Georgia trying to stop themselves from going 0-2. Got a huge game between the hedges today against South Carolina.
Art Briles has come out of the field and is standing over as they tend to Jordan Iver.
He is a big fan of Jordan Iver and trying to get the national attention to him any kind he can. I mean, Art Briles, though, people want to come to Baylor and play for this man.
A great coach. Was reading the story about Antoine Goodley in the Waco paper today, and he said, I love to send players to Art because I know how well he treats kids.
Yeah.
That was the Midland coach for Antoine Goodley.
Well, here's the finish to this play on Jordan Iver here. See, he really can't break that fall, coming right down on his back of the spine. Need a lot of help getting him off the field. I hope he's all right.
Jordan Iver's already graduated in May. He has been noted as an honorable mention Big 12 selection twice.
Amazing.
That's Adam Redden who delivered that tackle a moment ago. Now Seastrunk bounces off a tackle. Here it is, powering speed again. Seastrunk to the sideline, bursting into the end zone. This one will stand.
Well, he's got all the tools. All the tools of a great back. We've talked about him all afternoon so far. But he is a finisher now. And he does not go down on contact. I mean, it's unbelievable. You don't hear many players in the offseason college football announce that they want to win the Heisman Trophy. You just don't see it. And the start that he's had this year, he's a leading candidate right now. A leading candidate.
So 28 carries in 2 games, a game and a half. 28 carries, 261 yards, and 5 touchdowns now for Lake Seastrunk, the junior from Temple.
Well, you know, you get Heisman attention when your team wins first. That's the most important thing. Your team's got to be out there. So Baylor getting off to this hot start. He's got electrifying speed, balance of a... But I think what's happening right now is once he breaks the pile here, everybody's looking to create a convoy for this guy. Anton Goodley getting out front. You know, because if he gets in the end zone and you're running with him, you get seen in the end zone. But we won't see much of Seastrunk in the second half, but you'll see him cheering on everybody else that gets to carry the ball. Complete team player.
And those players will be Shock Linwood, who had a touchdown run earlier in the half. Anthony Webb, who had 6 carries for 71 yards last week. Maybe Devin Chafin will be in this week as well for Baylor. There's Niver. Hate to see that.
Don't want to speculate on what that injury is, but he came right down on that tailbone without any way to break that fall. And that is painful. You can tell just how gingerly he's walking.
3:52 left in the second quarter as Baylor continues to pour it on. Anthony Taylor in the end zone. 3:52 that is left in the second quarter as we look at the Associated Press top 10. Baylor is 23rd in this week's AP poll. Top-ranked Alabama is off. Oregon leads Virginia. Ohio State leads San Diego State. Clemson has already won. Texas A&M will play later against Sam Houston. Louisville with a win over Eastern Kentucky.
Of course, next week, just a little over an hour away out in College Station, the Alabama Crimson Tide coming to meet Johnny Manziel and the Aggies. Manziel on the cover of Time magazine this week. First time college football player's been on the cover since Roger Staubach in 1963.
50 years, a handoff and a fumble. Anthony Taylor had it punched out but got back on top of it. Sean Oakman, the long arm of the law there for Baylor at the 6'9" defensive end, is the one who knocked it out.
Well, the more plays that Sean Oakman gets, the bigger playmaker becomes. Last week he played 28 plays, but he's got the big grill right there. He's gone from 235 pounds as a freshman to 286 pounds and growing.
Loss of 6 after the fumble. To the sideline, a pass to Alex Newts.
I think if Newts could handle it, you could throw the ball to him every play. Now here's the long arm of Oakman. That's like a big limb from the oak tree that just reached out there and poked that ball loose.
Baylor's already forced a fumble and run it back for a touchdown today. Bryce Hager with a 90-yard return. Oakman forced that fumble, but Anthony Taylor got back on it. 3rd down and 10. Buffalo, their own 27. Licata hanging in, throwing over the middle. Fred Lee, but short of the 1st down.
If you're 6'9" now, Mark, you know, you're expect to be cut. I mean, it's just tall timber. Here he is. Davis is going to cut him here. He's going to throw the blade on him. All right, that's one way to get him down, but he doesn't stay down long. You can see, look at this, is exactly what you're coached to do. I mean, this is right up, get your hands up, try to affect the next pass. That's great effort. Great effort by Oakman. Good job by Andre Davis getting him down, but some effort from that man.
Fred Lee did catch the pass, but it leaves 4th and 3. They ran a fake punt on the last 4th down. Not this time. Tyler Grassman will kick. Levi Norwood has a chance to return. Makes a man miss. Has a block. Might have been a block in the back. There is a marker down, and Norwood still on his feet, finally driven down around the 20.
Well, the old adage is if you see the back of the number, don't hit the man. And I think what you saw, Mark, is I think with the 7 officials down there. So remember, in Big 12 play this year, there'll be 8 officials covering the field.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 24, the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Well, field position doesn't seem to affect. Yeah.
Right there's the block.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, you see the back of the number. All right. Now, it's ill-advised. That'll be coached up in the film room tomorrow. You make a mistake like that, you just don't want to make that mistake again. You know, get it pointed out in front of the special teams crew, and you don't want to be the guy that gets pointed at again.
They saw 14 with the penalty, Anthony Webb, and of course 14 is Bryce Petty, the quarterback, who will field the snap and hand it off.
Well, you can see right now Baylor is trying to slow it down. I mean, they were running a play every 14 seconds, but I think there is a little mercy here. They still won't huddle, but they'll take their time and run a little bit more time off the clock.
Shock Linwood ran it on 1st down, and Linwood will run it on 2nd down. And a hole opens up once he got past the line of scrimmage for 1st down yardage. Whitney Sherry has him at the 25. It's time for the Mattress Firm All Access Update. Bryce Petty, 10 of 13, 265 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown.
You know, and those aren't like just, you know, nickel and dime type throws. I mean, he's throwing that ball deep 30 and 40 yards down the field. He missed 5 last week. He's missed 3 so far today.
They have 2 timeouts. Petty rolling. Throws. Tevin Reese comes back to the ball. Tevin Reese catches near midfield.
Well, that's a comeback throw. You know, Bryce Petty doesn't like what he sees to the left side. He buys himself a little bit of time, extends the play, but he stays calm in his 2nd start in college football. Eyes down the field and finds Tevin Reese.
19 yards, 50 seconds. Handoff. Corey Coleman from the receiver position on an end around. A flag's down. Nick Gilbo. Nick Gilbo is a former walk-on for Port Henry, New York, a town of 1,200 people. Played at Hudson Valley Community College.
Personal foul. Shot block. Number 32 offense. 15-yard penalty. Replay. 1st down.
I would say if there is a point of contention for Art Briles here at halftime today, it's the penalties that they've had. Just way too many of them.
Most points in a half for Baylor, the 56 that they've had in the first half today. As you noted, a few penalties. That's the fourth of the day. As a throw to Jared Monk, the tight end, is caught. They gain a lot of the penalty yardage back for that chop block call up near the original line of scrimmage on this set of downs. It's at the Baylor 46. And they will let the half run out. The only thing that stopped the Baylor offense in the first half was the clock.
That's it. I mean, it was near perfection on every phase, and Buffalo's going to try to regroup. But Bryce Petty, again, running this offense to perfection.
69-3, they defeated Wofford last week. 56-13, they lead University at Buffalo, the Bulls, at the half. When we return, Lauren McKeeman and Tony Banks are in the studio for Fox College Football Halftime, presented by Arby's.
Buffalo go home. They used to this heat. Woo! What lies ahead is a new way. New day has come. Let's not live for yesterday. A source of life and a passion for a new freedom. I want to live for today.
Fox College Football, a hot afternoon in Central Texas. The Baylor Bears, ranked 23rd in the nation, lead the Buffalo Bulls 56-13. Thanks for joining us today for Fox College Football. With Brian Baldinger, I'm Mark Followell. And the first half, it was just shock and awe by the Baylor offense. Over 500 yards, 56 points on the board. Baldy, they couldn't be stopped other than the clock running out at the end of the half.
Yeah, they haven't punted. You know, they punted once this year. I mean, they're a dynamic football team. And speed in this business, when you run a spread offense, there's really no answer for it. Now, Buffalo's playing hard. They're doing all the right things. They're changing up. There's, playing a lot of players, but you can't assimilate this speed in practice. And you don't get this in the MAC. They didn't see this type of speed at Ohio State last week. And so right now they're getting it, live. And it's been impressive.
It has been impressive. We can show you how impressive it was with some of the highlights from the first half as Baylor built this 56-13 lead.
Well, I mean, Lake Seastrunk is, he wants the Heisman, and he's running like he wants it. I mean, whether it's a touchdown run or bouncing things outside or showing the power, he's showing all the skills right now. And so he's been a highlight reel in the first 6 quarters of the season. He's doing everything that he said he thinks he can do the way he finished the season last year. But then Bryce Petty. I mean, this guy right now is running this offense to perfection. And it's not dink and dunk. It's deep throws to Tevin Reese. It's speed throws to the outside where you get the ball in the hands of some of these track stars and let them finish the play. And, look, he's missed three throws today. He missed all of 5 last week. I mean, he's been in target, but it's not just the offense now. I mean, they're getting contributions from everything. Sam Hall here knocks the ball loose from Licata. The ball's on the ground. And here's Bryce Hager dancing, 90 yards, 91 yards. It was a long way.
91, second longest fumble return in Baylor history.
Yeah, and so, he needed a little bit of oxygen at the end of that run, and here we go. I mean, they haven't had the ball for 10 minutes, and they've got 500 yards of offense and 56 points. It's a full-blown display that I think is really going to catch the entire attention of the United States after this weekend. So if you're Buffalo right now, Mark, you come out of the tunnel. I mean, it's a gut check. It's a flat-out gut check. Jeff Quinn has told him that. Finish this game. Finish it. Don't look at the scoreboard. Play hard. Be proud. And so I think that's probably the message from Jeff Quinn.
The halftime stats that you just saw were brought to you by Napa. There's Jeff Quinn, the head coach at the University at Buffalo. And as Baldy said, it will be gut check time for his team here in the second half. The offensive leaders today for Baylor: Bryce Petty, the junior from Midlothian, just southwest of Dallas, 12 of 15, passed for 298 yards and 2 scores, ran for another. Lake Seastrunk, the junior running back from Temple, 17 rushes, 150 yards, building on the 11 for 111 and 2 TDs last week. And Tevin Reese, last week against Wofford, caught 97 yards worth of passes, 5 grabs, 4 for 97, and a touchdown from 61 yards out today.
Well, Bryce Petty, he waited 4 years to get his shot. And he's been incredible. But really, Lake Seastrong, that's a heck of a first half of work now. In 100-degree heat to go 17 carries, all right, $150, 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's a full day's work in 80-degree heat. And he doesn't look the least bit affected by the number of carries, the temperature. He looks as charged up to go play this third quarter as he didn't come out of the tunnel to play the game.
Got to credit the conditioning work all off season. A lot of hard work in the heat of Central Texas for Lake Seastrong and his teammates. And they are dealing with the 100-degree heat quite well this afternoon, putting a Baylor modern era record of 56 points on the board in the first half.
Well, Buffalo came here 4 years ago, but they didn't see a team like Baylor has now 4 years ago.
Patrick Clark's kickoff over Darius Jones.
Well, they didn't punt in the first half. So this is what the first half possessions look like from Baylor's offense, Mark. It was pretty much, you know, you practice against your own team. You hope you can do those kind of numbers. The number of big plays, you know, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 yards at a chunk. It's incredible.
And don't forget, you had a defensive touchdown in there as well. And after averaging 111 per touchdown drive last week, it's 1 minute and 9 seconds today. A blast up the middle by Shock Linwood on first down. He is down just out inside the 30 at the 31. So a gain of 6 before Lee Skinner from Dayton, Ohio, junior linebacker, on the tackle for Buffalo.
Now, it is a little dilemma. I mean, there's sportsmanship from Art Briles, and they're slowing it down a little bit, but their whole offense and how they practice is based on tempo.
Linwood up the gut. Linwood a first down beyond their own 40. A run of 10. Skinner with another tackle. We said it last week when they tried to slow it down. It's not in their DNA. And a quick pass, Jared Monk over the middle after the play fake. Monk with a stiff arm, staying on his feet inside the Buffalo 20. The big tight end, Jared Monk, a senior from Wiley, 6'5", 275. Remember, Jordan Iver got hurt in the first half.
Yeah, so, you know, Jared Monk, it's the next man up, and they're ready to play after that big gain.
40 yards was the gain. Linwood bouncing. Linwood on his feet. Linwood inside the 10. First and goal coming up. Okoye Houston with the tackle.
That is a powerful kid now out of Linden, Texas. I mean, his first carry last week was a touchdown. First carry in college football was a touchdown.
5'8", 200. There's Linwood, another touchdown. Taking it in from 6 yards out. Shock Linwood.
You know, Jeff Quinn, you see, I mean, this is a fiery competitor, and really he has no answer. You know, you write whatever you want down the sheet. He's shaking his head in disbelief. Art Briles, the man in the black shirt right now, he's got to like what he sees.
104 on the touchdown drive. Jones, the extra point. Tight ends getting involved in the passing game today before he got hurt. Jordan Iver had a couple of catches in the first half. And now Jared Monk on the quick pass over the middle and the rumble down the field. Baylor after the TD now up 50. Fox College Football is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. This is the computer animation of the new stadium on the way here at Baylor. It's scheduled to open in August of 2014. And our crew was out this morning with some footage. Right by the Brazos River and Interstate 35 in Waco, 45,000 seat stadium. Expandable to 55,000, being built at a cost of $260 million. And here is a shot live of the new stadium, and you can see the shot here from Floyd Casey just a couple of miles away.
Well, we're right in between Austin, Texas, Memorial Stadium down there at the University of Texas, and Dallas, where AT&T Stadium on Sunday night will see the Cowboys and the Giants play.
Yes.
You know, and so this is really an exciting time at Baylor football, for Baylor football, and it's all because of the vision and the passion of Art Briles, period.
kick fumbled at the 30 to the 35. Buffalo with a short return of a short kick. Jimmy Gordon up back, tight end, fielded, and ran it up past the Buffalo 30. Last week, 111, the average time of touchdown drives, and this last drive for Baylor shortened the average by a second, knocked it down from 109 in the first half, now 108 for the game.
Well, I mean, it's hard. It's just really hard to defend. I mean, really, you know, there's a lot of people running spread football and hurry-up football and up-tempo football in the NFL and college, but I don't know anybody that quite does it quite like Baylor does it.
Alex Zordich is in at quarterback. Big hole for Anthony Taylor on the handoff from the Buffalo 34 where the drive starts. As Floyd Casey Stadium closes down this year, 64th year for Floyd Casey Stadium, Brian. The new stadium is costing $260 when Floyd Casey Stadium was built and opened with a game against Houston in September of 1950. That cost $1.5 million.
Yeah, times have changed. Yeah.
I'm sure with your Duke education, you can figure out the economics and what it is in today's dollars.
I could prorate it. I could do that.
Rate of inflation. Anthony Taylor on a second down handoff. Suleiman Masambuko with the tackle on second down.
Yeah, you can't get lost here on what Alex Newts has done. Their all-time leading receiver at Buffalo in the day that he's had, almost 200 yards receiving. That is, you know, to go on the road in this kind of heat and do it is really been impressive.
218 is the Buffalo single-game receiving yardage record. And Alex Newts has a chance at that today. They hand off to Anthony Taylor. Should have enough for the first down at their own 44. Terrence Lloyd on the tackle.
Well, he was first in yards, reception yards. He was second in number of receptions coming in today. He was fourth in college football in number of touchdowns caught. So he's had an impressive career and maybe the best game he's ever had right here today. And it's a shame that it's being overshadowed by this performance of Baylor.
Alex Zordich, another handoff. This is Anthony Taylor with 4 straight carries and wrestled to the turf. Big tackle by Brody Trahan. It's Buffalo's first half. We showed you the Baylor possessions a moment ago. Here's Buffalo. It started out with a flea flicker as part of an 8-play, 75-yard drive to get it started.
Well, yeah, you know, they scored in the opening drive, and really that fumble down there that Bryce Hager returned for a touchdown. I mean, they were knocking on the door. They're inside the 10-yard line. Could have had another touchdown. And they got down to the 1-yard line against Ohio State last week. They didn't score. They can move the football.
Zordich on 2nd and 8. Tipton behind Jimmy Gordon. Incomplete.
Well, one thing about Alex Zordich, he is a competitor now. I mean, he's going to give it everything he has. Seeing some of the depth right now of Baylor's defense. Masambuko.
Masambuko from Trinity High School in Euless, near Fort Worth. Tipped the pass. 3rd down and 8. After Zordich's first incompletion.
There's an all-out blitz right now. At least they're showing that.
And Zordich in an audible slant route. Fred Lee. Lee stretches forward, but well short of the first down.
Maybe on Edwards. Read that play out perfectly. They tried to take some time off the clock. I mean, Baylor can't. So they tried to do that by running the ball a little bit, but they were unable to convert on the 3rd down.
They had a good start converting 3rd downs early in the game. Now 4 for 9 on 3rd downs after that. Grassman with the punt. Levi Norwood signaling fair catch. His own man knocked him down. Courtney Lester was back for Buffalo on special teams. Here's Norwood with the fair catch. And the collision at the 10-yard line. Baylor up 63-13, 11 minutes left, 3rd quarter. From America's #1 pregame show comes the all-new Fox Football Daily, featuring an all-star lineup of experts and NFL legends. Get everything you love on Sunday, every day of the week. Fox Football Daily, weeknights at 6 Eastern on America's new sports network, Fox Sports 1. Seth Russell, redshirt freshman from Garland. He played last week. He had a touchdown run, a touchdown pass to Corey Coleman of 70 yards, had a 4 of 4, 99-yard passing day, and he's in and throws over the middle. And another catch for Baylor. The offense moves quickly, 20 yards to Levi Norwood.
Well, he didn't just have a touchdown run and touchdown pass. On his first run, he ran for a touchdown. On his first pass, he threw a touchdown pass. So it was instant success for Seth Russell. They're really pleased with the way he performed versus Wofford last Saturday.
It's the first catch today for Levi Norwood. Norwood caught 2 passes last week, a catch now in 17 straight games. Linwood with the rush. Stopped for no gain by Lee Skinner. Bryce Petty, first 2 collegiate starts. Here's what he's done. Completed 80% of his passes, Brian, 650 yards, 4 TDs.
RG3. Yeah, who is he?
Nick Florence, who is he?
Who is that guy? That's a backup offensive lineman there right now. And this is what happens when you become a top-flight program. Second half of these games during the season, you start getting a number of these guys like Laquan McGowan. You get to, a Seth Russell. You get these guys some real playing time and get them familiar with the speed of college football.
You've got Kyle Fuller at center, Trayvon Armstead at right tackle. You mentioned Laquan McGowan at left guard.
Number 55, offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's the new center, Kyle Fuller. Jason Osei is in at guard, right guard. Pat Colbert at left tackle. Baylor 5 of 5 today on 3rd downs.
Amazing stat. I mean, all those stats are amazing offensively.
And they've converted some long ones today, too. They get pushed back here with the penalty at 3rd and long, 3rd and 11. Delay handoff. Linwood to the corner. Linwood. Tripped up. It will be the first time today that we've seen the forgotten man on the Baylor roster. From Knoxville, Tennessee, the junior Spencer Roth, the punter. Saw him 1 time last week. He punted for 40 yards. And we will see him with his first punt of the day. And Alex Newts, who's been a major factor in the Buffalo passing game, back deep to receive. A rush on the punt. 1 bounce to Newts.
Oh, he must have called for a fair catch.
On the bounce.
Yeah.
TV, touch. TV.
Run with it after you fair catch it. It should be a penalty, but I don't know if they blew it dead.
8:52 remaining 3rd quarter. 48 yards on the first punt today for Spencer Roth. Baylor 63, Buffalo 13. A lot to celebrate today for the Bears. Jeff Quinn, the head coach at Buffalo. Alex Newts, the wide receiver for Buffalo, called for a fair catch by doing this on the return.
Well, any kind of motion with the hands signals a fair catch, even though it's below his waist. And so properly blown dead on that case. He was just waving his blockers off because the ball bounced short.
Sordich at quarterback. Sordich on the keep. Hit at the line of scrimmage, Sam Hall.
I don't know if Alex Newts is done for the day. He's taking his gloves off on the sideline. He's not out there right now. Maybe just trying to get some time for some of the younger players.
Close to a Buffalo record in terms of receiving yards and close to their first 200-yard game in receiving yards since 2002. Out on the left side, incomplete, a pass. Ron Willoughby, the intended receiver.
Yeah, I mean, they're just getting some younger players. Ron Willoughby is a sophomore out of Avon Lake, Ohio. Just taking this time down 50 here in the 3rd quarter to get some playing time for some younger players that they're going to have to rely on as they get ready for their MAC conference schedule.
2 non-conference games at home coming up for Buffalo against Stony Brook and then Connecticut. Forced up to run. Alex Sordich is belted at the 25. Brody Trahan. That will leave a 4th and 4 for Buffalo with 8 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Baylor's last drive ended in the first punt of the day. Tyler Grassman will be back out on the field to punt again, though, for Buffalo.
Tyler Grassman in punt formation.
Levi Norwood back to return his punt. If you're not hustling, this guy will take it right to the house on you. He's got incredible speed himself.
3 catches for the season. It's a nice kick by Grassman, who we noted earlier really struggled last year, only 35 yards a punt. But good kick, good coverage, 56 yards on that punt. Art Briles and the Baylor Bears putting on a show today. They lead 63-13 over the Buffalo Bulls. Baylor 63, Buffalo 13, Fox College football. 23rd ranked Baylor with the lead, and here's the Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Best winning percentage at home of the Big 12 since 2011, the Baylor Bears. Winning 93% of their games, 13-1. It will go to 14-1 here in a quarter and a half.
Maybe they shouldn't go to the new stadium. Maybe they should ride the hot house right here at Floyd Case. Like they've got a heck of a home field advantage right now.
A quick throw by Seth Russell. And a catch, moving up the sideline, pushed out of bounds, Corey Pullman. And if you're just tuning into the game, look, it's 98 degrees or more this afternoon, 97 at kickoff. The amount of people in the stands does not reflect the energy that was here earlier in the game last week. And 45,000 people were here last week. Second largest crowd for a Floyd Casey Stadium Open. Only one larger, Oklahoma, here in 1973.
Robbie Rhodes, the freshman at a Southwest High School in Fort Worth, just put a move on the corner. What you call a post corner route. And I don't know, this ball is close to a big play. Robbie Rhodes, not quite off the fingertips. They're going for a big play there. That's one thing about this offense. It is, they strike fear on you because they're not afraid throwing the ball deep down the field and anywhere on the field.
It's so many different weapons. They fake the handoff, they throw for Jay Lee. Baylor fans want a flag down.
Did you see some jersey being grabbed?
I think so.
Yeah. You got to do that sometime. Marcus Baker out there on coverage. There it is. Yeah, I mean, looks like he's trying to slow him down one way or the other.
Jay Lee caught 3 passes last week. Russell to throw again. Dancing around in the pocket.
He's got Rhodes.
Rolling and trying to find Rhodes. Rhodes looked almost like he lost it in the sun the way he was turning back for the ball.
Well, it's a hot, lazy Texas sun, and it's big. And it can blind you if you're looking right into it. I mean, you're going to get Robbie Rhodes open right there in the middle of the field. He might need a little tint on that shield of his. Yeah, I don't think he saw it. I mean, because he reacts to football way better than that. I think he got blinded by that 100-degree sun.
Second punt today for Spencer Roth. The protection picks up the rush. And that's a fair catch at the 18-yard line for Alex Newts. 37 yards on that punt. It's a triple header today on Fox Sports Networks. Stephen F. Austin and Texas Tech will wrap up the day of college football coverage. Baker Mayfield last week led Tech to a win at Ford Stadium against SMU, 43 of 60, 413 yards. First freshman quarterback to be named Big 12 Player of the Week since the man who is now his coach, Cliff Kingsbury.
Well, just look at that. Completions, 43 completions in a game. It used to be if you threw the ball 43 times, oh, you're just an aerial circus. All you do is throw the ball. He had 43 completions.
Zordich going up top, down the middle of the field. That's Ron Willoughby. Ron Willoughby catches deep in Baylor territory. Down as he catches at the 36.
Well, I like to see it. I like the fact that Buffalo is still attacking. Willoughby out there right now, the X receiver in place of Alex Newts. And Zordich airs this one out. Gets a lot of air underneath. A nice effort by Willoughby to pull it in and then seal it before he hits the ground.
And a welcome to college football for Ron Willoughby with his first catch. Anthony Taylor running off the right side. Nowhere to go. Suleiman Masambuko
Is that Willoughby's first catch?
Yes.
Wow. I tell you, that's impressive. Another way to lay out for it. You just like to see effort plays, you know, when a team is down 50 like this. Because those are the kind of plays that's going to help them compete in the MAC conference this year.
The MAC has 3 bowl tie-ins, but last year, with Northern Illinois getting into the BCS, Zordich will keep it. Zordich cut down at the 30-yard line of Baylor by Ryan Reed, a run of 6. Last year, Baldy, 7 teams represented the Mid-American Conference in bowl games. Three tie-ins this year, but like I said, Northern Illinois in the BCS last year.
Northern Illinois was, you know, in the Orange Bowl against Florida State last year. Great quarterback play. Came up short in that game, but that was an incredible journey for a MAC team. And of course, in the NFL draft this year, I mean, Eric Fisher, Mid-American Conference player that man Jeff Quinn knows all too well.
From Central Michigan.
Yeah, #1 pick in the draft to Kansas City. They're starting right tackle tomorrow as they get ready to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
In the beginning of the Andy Reid era. It's 4th and 2. Jeff Quinn keeping the offense on the field to go for it here. They went 1 for 2 on 4th downs last week against Ohio State. Turning, handing off. Anthony Taylor buried in the backfield. Did not get there.
Yeah, who else?
The oak tree.
Yeah.
Sean Oakman.
Yeah, you're not getting through the limbs of the oak tree. I mean, I can just see this guy is going to be a budding star in college football. I was going to talk about Baylor's offense. This guy, you're going to find a way to keep this guy on the field. I mean, he's just getting a taste of it now. Look at the reach right here, and just, you call just swallowing a guy up. You just don't see great athletes playing football that are 6'9". I mean, usually they're a little, you know, they're not coordinated. This guy was a basketball player, is growing into his body. He's got tremendous leverage, and I think he really likes the game. Yes. That time of the day when it's just time to cool off.
Hottest game in University at Buffalo football history. It's Jay Lee catching along the sideline on the first down throw by Seth Russell. Courtney Lester on a tackle.
Jay Lee catches the ball and just gets up right where he was tackled and is in position to go play again.
Devin Chafin from Burke Burnett. That's up near Wichita Falls, Texas. And Burke Burnett's Devin Chafin did not play last week. Got some eligibility issues sorted out, and he's on the field today with his first carry. Baylor scored 56 points in the first half. Bryce Petty engineered one more drive to start the third quarter. His day is done. Nick Gilbo flushes Seth Russell out of the pocket. Russell on a scramble. Bumped right at the boundary. And right at the first down marker, he should have enough.
Seth Russell from Garland, just outside of Dallas. We were talking to Art Briles about Texas high school football and why it's such a great sport. It makes America better. It teaches you teamwork, toughness. You got to earn your stripes to be on the field. It's competitive. All of those great attributes that goes into making a good person. You learn from football. And that's why Texas football is just so big and powerful.
Russell with a play fake. Darting around the pocket, a flag is thrown. Coming back to catch the first down marker. Don't think the play is going to stand there. Jay Lee did catch it. Loved hearing the passion, though, that Art Briles spoke with. And then, look, it's understandable because his roots are in Texas high school football.
Holding, number 72, offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
4 state titles as a head coach at Stephenville. Georgetown, before that out in West Texas for, I love the nickname. I remember this from many, many years ago, the Hamlin Pied Pipers, Baldy. So that was his first head coaching job.
You know, I had the TV on early this morning. Remember when you were a kid, you turned on Saturday morning, you watched cartoons?
Yes.
Well, in Texas, you turn the TV on Saturday morning, it's high school football. You're watching recaps from Friday night. You open up the Sunday paper here in Waco or Dallas or Midland or Austin, and it's 8 straight pages of high school football.
There's high school football games on the radio on Friday night. There's rebroadcast of games.
There's TV show, Friday Night's Lights. I mean, it's larger than life, but it's a good life.
The penalty moves Baylor back. Russell guns it to Robbie Rhodes. Out at the Baylor 36. And Rhodes right out of high school, Southwest High School up at Fort Worth. He had a game in high school, Baldy, as a junior. He caught 10 passes for 394 yards, and 8 of the 10 catches were for touchdowns.
That sounds like a Baylor stat.
Now a run for Chapin into Buffalo territory. They convert on 2nd down and long. A first down over midfield. Courtney Lester with a tackle on Devin Chapin. And they move quickly again.
They're shuttling in an offensive guard. It's like Fuller was hurt.
Yeah. And another center's gone into the game. And Russell, again, darting around the pocket. Ooh, showing some elusiveness, but finally a takedown by Jake Stockman. Stockman had 2.5 sacks last year, junior from Joliet, Illinois.
You know, and when I watch those high school football shows on Saturday morning or Friday night, every high school in this state's playing a spread offense. You know, so like the talk on the national level is, why are these young quarterbacks so ready to play at the NFL level? It's because they came out of systems just like this in high school and then through college.
And another quick pass. Russell finds Lynx Hawthorne. With 2:15 remaining in the third quarter, he has gone, at least for the most part, gone are the days of 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Well, now, Nick Saban is not 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but he believes in his system, you know, where it's a fullback, there's a tight end on the field, you huddle up. He lost to Texas A&M in this spread offense, and Johnny Manziel and the coming out party he had last year. It'll be interesting to see if Nick Saban learned anything about that defeat to A&M last year.
Texas A&M hosting Alabama next week. Another flag down in the offensive backfield. Russell uncorks a great pass that's caught by Jay Lee for a touchdown, but a marker is down.
Wow, that was
holding. Number 69, offense. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It won't stand, but I know what you wanted to say, Brian, about what a great throw it was. Russell to Jay Lee.
He's going to his left, Mark, and he flicks this ball. It's in the air over 50 yards. The throw was incredible. Watch where he throws this ball from. Because he gets a little pressure on the outside. All right, he's got to step up now. He's going to his left. Look at this ball. That ball's in the air over 50 yards on a flick. Wow, great concentration.
Moves Baylor back to 3rd and 20 with the hold. And now Russell is down.
Good job by Buffalo.
Sacked by Adam Redden.
Yeah, Redden was in there, who's had a big day from the cornerback position. Mack was in there on that one. I tell you, that Redden will hit you now.
He's the guy who cut down Niver, and the hard hit that upended Niver and more the hard fall that ended his day.
He put a big hit on Braxton Miller last week in Columbus too. It just catches your eye the way he knifes in and will take you right down.
Adam Redden's a senior. He had 2 blocked kicks last year. And Redden was pretty close to Spencer Roth right there. Fair catch at the 20 with 1 minute remaining in the third, and Baylor up 63-13. Here's a Fox College football game break. Checking in now with Laura McKeeman.
Well, Mark, we're going to go to Toledo at Missouri, where we've got a player ejection. Toledo's Terrence Owens throws an incomplete pass intended for Bernard Reedy, who takes a hard hit by Missouri's Andrew Wilson. Wilson leads in with his head and is automatically ejected for targeting, guys.
One minute remaining in the third. Buffalo coming out on the field on offense at their own 21. Buffalo scored twice in the first quarter. The extra point on their second touchdown was blocked to account for the total of 13 points. Sortich down the sideline. And the marker comes in.
I really thought the offensive player ran in to the defensive player there.
Ron Willoughby caught a pass earlier in the quarter. He was the intended receiver. Xavier Howard had an interception earlier in the game.
There's a lot of penalties on the secondary of Baylor today. And they're going to see teams at Oklahoma State. We're going to put the ball up a whole lot this year.
Alan Eck is the referee. Xavier Howard is the player for Baylor that was back in coverage. Here's the call.
There were 2 fouls. Pass interference, number 18, defense, 15-yard penalty. First down. After the play was over, personal foul, number 50, offense, 15-yard penalty. It's 1st and 10.
Right back where they started after all of that.
Yeah, they cancel each other. That's Andre Davis, number 50. He doesn't hear a whistle, Andre. He's a converted defensive lineman. They're going to pull him out of the game right now. Maybe good for good. It's one of Jeff Quinn's projects, is taking defensive linemen, tight ends, and converting them to offensive linemen.
We will find out as soon as we can who that is. It's being carted off right now for Buffalo. Inside handoff, Anthony Taylor. You brought up the point about Jeff Quinn. We talked to him this week. He loves to take athletic players from the defensive line, from the tight end. He loves their competitiveness, their nastiness, their tenacity of their defensive players, and put them on the offensive line. He said, you find me the player, I'll coach him up and make a player out of him on the O-line.
Well, the starting center for the Philadelphia Eagles is one of his guys. Jason Kelsey, when he had him at the University of Cincinnati, took a slow middle linebacker, made him into a fast, really good center, as he'll be leading the Chip Kelly offense into Washington on Monday night.
Kendall Ehrlich with the tackle as Anthony Taylor got another carry. Taylor has seen the lion's share of the workload at running back. Remember that Brandon Oliver got slowed up with an injury. Could be the final snap of the 3rd quarter here. Buffalo had a new running back into the game. It's James Potts.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
The quarter. It has been all Baylor today. Blake Seastrunk, Bryce Petty. On a very hot afternoon, their offense was blazing hot in the first half. They built a 50-point lead as you're watching Fox College Football. The Coors Light game summary as the 4th quarter starts here at Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco, Texas. Buffalo trailing Baylor. 63-13 the lead for the Bears. Buffalo got 197 receiving yards today out of Alex Newt. Baylor scored a modern era record 56 points in the first half as Bryce Petty had a huge day today for Baylor. This is a keep. Alex Zordich, the Buffalo quarterback. Joe Licata played in the first half. Did return for 1 series after he limped off the field, but then it's been Zordich the entire second half.
Yeah, Zordich is just giving him everything he's got right now. I mean, just competing like crazy, and it's his senior year right now, so he's taking advantage of every snap he can get out there on the field.
An 8-game starter last season who threw for 1,254 yards, 9 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. James Potts, another Florida guy on this Buffalo roster, Boynton Beach, Florida. Oof. James Potts on the 3rd down run converts for Buffalo.
You know, they got 12 kids from the state of Florida up here in Buffalo. I mean, I was shocked when I saw it. But, you know, it's a chance to play, and Jeff Quinn knows how to coach them up and recruit them. He said, look, it's going to be cold and rainy and wet. We don't lie to the kids. We're just going to dress them warm when it gets cold.
This is Potts again on the handoff. He said, I look at the guys, I don't want to see anybody weak. I don't want to see anybody intimidated. I don't want to see anyone non-committed. And don't worry about the cold. We'll dress you warm.
I tell you what, Jeff Quinn's not thinking about the cold now.
No.
He's like,
or the hot.
Get us out of the heat. Get us out of this heat. Get us back to some Buffalo weather.
Buffalo weather was one morning earlier this week, 42 degrees.
There we go.
By the way. Anthony Taylor on a handoff. 2nd down and 5. Early in the 4th quarter, again, Buffalo is looking at Stony Brook and Connecticut home games in their upcoming schedule. Baylor will have a week off, then we'll play Louisiana Monroe here at home. And then we'll have another week off before they open Big 12 play against West Virginia in the first weekend in October. West Virginia will play at Oklahoma, and a game to be televised on Fox tonight. Gus Johnson, Charles Davis will be calling the Mountaineers and the Sooners, who had a 50-48 epic tilt last season.
Well, that was the game last year where Tavon Austin basically you know, won that right to be the 8th pick in the NFL draft. I mean, he played running back against Oklahoma last year and ran through Oklahoma like nobody in the history has ever done.
Anthony Taylor converts on 3rd down, takes on the defender and rolls over Ryan Reed. Blake Seastrunk on the Baylor sideline. Talked about it last week on the Baylor Wofford broadcast, and he has pronounced himself a candidate for the Heisman Trophy, and you have to mention him with these names based on his first 2 weeks performance.
Yeah, you know, and as long as Baylor just keeps exploding offensively and winning games, then he's really going to be considered. Because that's what it ultimately comes down to. Are you helping your team win games? Now, these kind of games, he's putting up the type of numbers you need. What's he going to do in the big games, the close games, the games that you just mentioned last year, West Virginia, Oklahoma? Is he the difference maker in those games?
There is an injury for Buffalo on offense. 12 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. Baylor leads 63-13. The starting left tackle for Buffalo, Andre Davis, number 50, you see, that was the player that was injured a moment ago for Buffalo. He's gone off to the sideline. With a 2nd down play for Alex Zordich here early in the 4th quarter. Incompletion. Nady Ajay, the intended receiver. There's Davis on the Buffalo sideline. They've had a lot of guys go off injured today.
Well, he was an all-MAC player, and really one of Jeff Quinn's real prized pupils, just going from one position and switching to left tackle and bringing a defensive lineman's mentality to the position.
Played the most snaps on the team in 2012 as Zordich throws for the sideline. Another incompletion. First time that Marcus McGill has had a pass thrown his way today. And Buffalo will send Tyler Grassman back out on the field to punt again. The cousin of Tyler Grassman, Corbin Grassman, is the long snapper. You think about kids and cousins and brothers throwing the football in the backyard to each other. They were long snapping in the backyard as cousins, Corbin and Tyler Grassman.
That's no joke either. They probably did that on every holiday in the backyard. One snapping to the other, back and forth.
11:51 remaining. A timeout on the field with Baylor at home leading Buffalo 63-13. Here's today's principal financial edge of the game, play of the game.
Well, Sam Hull knocked the ball loose, and Bryce Hager, the middle linebacker, picks it up and stumbles a little bit, regains his balance, picks up a little bit of a convoy, makes a cut in the open field. Got the ball tucked away, goes 91 yards for a touchdown. That really broke the game open. Buffalo was trying to make a game of it. They could have possibly taken it 42-20 at that point. Instead, it got blown open 49-13, and that's the play that did it for them.
Out of the timeout, and after the Buffalo punt, Baylor starting on their own 20. A run up the middle. That was Devin Chafin with the carry. There's Bryce Hager, who had what proved to be the 2nd longest fumble return in Baylor history. 91 yards on that touchdown run. Another carry here for Chafin. The longest, as we mentioned at the time, was Charles McClanahan in 1974. 96 yards for Baylor against Missouri.
Well, the thing that was impressive, I mean, Bryce was knocked out of the game on a goal line plunge by Bo Oliver earlier in the game, got kicked in the head.
Yeah, first drive of the game.
Looked a little woozy, but, you know, shook off the cobwebs and got back in there, and then makes the biggest play of his life.
And one of the biggest defensive plays in Baylor history, 2nd straight week that they end up with a defensive touchdown. On the rollout, forced out Seth Russell. Russell keeps his feet. Russell showing off the speed and then wrestled down shy of midfield. Tamaris Bell bringing down Russell at the 47. He runs for 21 yards. Redshirt freshman from Garland, Seth Russell.
Well, I think it's been well documented the success that Art Briles has coaching quarterbacks, and it looks like Seth Russell is getting that type of time where you can see the skills that he has. That could be another good one for him.
Stands in the pocket, airs it out, looking for Jay Lee, and Jay Lee catches for a touchdown for Baylor.
Took that ball right away from Marcus Baker and made it look easy. And again, Russell just flicks that ball. It's in the air 55 yards. He's got, here he is on the outside. Straight speed, stretching you all the way to the sideline now. Runs right by Marcus Baker. Maybe a little bit of a push off with the right arm. Almost like Drew Pearson in the Hail Mary catch from Roger Staubach. Kind of pushed him off, cut the ball with one hand.
He didn't push off on that.
Well, Drew said he did.
So therefore he didn't, right?
No.
Last week, Baylor set a Floyd Casey Stadium record with 69 points. They set a new one today. Aaron Jones' extra point makes it 70-13 Baylor. Jay Lee caught it after Seth Russell, the redshirt freshman, threw it. Fox College Football is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. And by Ford F-Series, America's best-selling truck for 36 straight years. Trying to find a way to keep cool on a 98-degree afternoon.
He's sticking it out, though. I mean, I give him credit. Jay Lee next to Lake Seastrunk.
Jay Lee just caught the 53-yard pass. Baldy, 3 pass receptions for Baylor today of over 50 yards, and they also had the 91-yard fumble return.
Yeah. A lot of skill in the offensive side of the ball.
Kyle Peterson is kicking off now through the end zone. After Jay Lee's 53-yard touchdown reception, this puts Baylor at 740 yards of offense today.
Well, Seth Russell is showing off his arm today. I tell you, he's got a cannon now. I mean, he's not a big guy, about 200 pounds off the read action from the 42-yard line. He flicks it. That ball's in the air every bit of 50 yards. And it's not just 50 yards. It's 50 yards exactly where it needs to be.
Yes.
Right, I mean, right on the spot. I mean, go out in your backyard right now and go try that. 50 yards, you probably got to throw it over to 2 neighbors' houses away to throw it 50 yards in the neighborhood, right? Or go out in the street. Just see if you can do it. Put a bucket out there, see if you can drop it in the way Russell just did.
Anthony Taylor, the swing pass for Marcus McGill. Today, another huge day for the Baylor offense.
Well, we're over 600 yards. I mean, they're over 700 yards right now. But yeah, I mean, that's what Art Briles, he's run the split veer. He's run, the spread option. Now he's like the super spread option with superior speed.
Amazing that for 110 years, they gained over 600 yards 5 times. 17 times now in the last 4 years. And 740 and counting today. It was over 500 at the half with the 56 points. Now this is a Floyd Casey Stadium record in points. It's a post-World War II record in scoring.
Yeah, but that's just it's the game. It's the way the game is evolving right now. It's evolving into this type of game. I mean, we're going to see it in the NFL this season, too. Teams putting up much bigger numbers.
Oh, big hit. Big hit. Jamal Palmer, Zarel Ezel. There's the 70 on the board for Baylor. And if you don't think it's this kind of football is coming to Sundays, just look at what happened on Thursday night.
I mean, Peyton Manning threw 7 touchdown passes against the reigning Super Bowl champion. 5 in 1 half. So that's where this whole thing is going. The speed that Art Briles plays with, the speed on the edge. I mean, how many receivers can you get that have world-class speed? Let's get them out there. Let's get the ball in their hands and see what they can do.
One more player running out on the field now for Baylor.
Like there's a delay of game call.
Delay of game on Buffalo. Cal Spangler got a couple of chances to return last week, and he's back deep for Baylor. When you're up 70-13, even after the penalty, there's some smiles and laughs on the sideline.
Smiles and laughs, but as Art Briles' T-shirt said last week, there's no days off. No.
Somebody reiterated that as a message to me before the broadcast today. Someone in a nice lavender shirt told me that today.
Yes. No, we're not allowed. No days off. It's football season.
Today's What a Player of the game, Lake Seastrunk, Baylor.
Well, he had, what a display. 17 carries all in the first half. 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. You see the power, just lowering the shoulder right there. The legs don't stop. He is like kinetic motion.
Whataburger player of the game, Lake Seastrunk, the What a Player, 17 rushes, 150 yards, averaged only 9 yards, 3 touchdowns, 6 straight 100-yard games now.
Well, we had a chance to listen to him and talk to him at the Big 12 Media Day. Very emotional guy, and it's not all about him. He knows it's about his team and the system, and he's extremely thankful for the opportunity he has.
Glasgow Martin only got 1 carry today. Anthony Webb is in now, and he had 6 carries for 71 yards last week. So we've seen Seastrunk. Martin only 1 carry. Carries for Devin Chafin, Shock Linwood, and Anthony Webb is on now.
Well, I think Glasgow Martin's coming back from the broken foot. Played a little bit last week. I think they got a bye week coming up.
Yeah.
I think they're just trying to get him as strong and healthy as he can, to get ready for the conference season.
Laquan McGowan.
Yeah, he's a big man. Big man that can move. He's only a sophomore. He's going to get a chance to play. He's the left guard. He does blot out the sun.
8.5 minutes remaining. This is the 4th highest point total in Baylor history, as Anthony Webb runs it around right in. Hit right at the first down marker and surges forward. Baylor moves the sticks again. And the big numbers keep pouring in. This is now the 3rd most passing yards today for Baylor in school history. 452.
If you're Anthony Webb and you know that games are going to be coming up that's more competitive and they're going to see Seastrunk and Glasgow Martin, you're like, I want to put my resume out here as much as I can right now.
71 yards last week, and this is a player who moved from 3rd team safety on the depth chart to 4th or 5th, depending on who's available at running back. They got noticed with what he did in the 4th quarter last week and has run it 3 times here in the 4th quarter on this drive.
It's good hit that time by Buffalo. Good to see those guys still finishing strong here.
It's been a long trip and a long afternoon for Buffalo here in the searing heat and under the onslaught of the Baylor offense. But Jeff Quinn is hoping that their day will come whenever they start playing the Mid-American Conference. And again, 2 non-conference games before that, Stony Brook and Connecticut. Trying to get that 6 wins. Devin Chafin with the run. Trying to get that 6 wins to go to a bowl game for just the 2nd time in school history.
Well, my guess is it's going to be tough for anybody in the MAC to stop Newt. Alex Newt showed me something here today at Floyd Casey that this guy, and he showed it last week at Ohio State. He showed it throughout his career that he is a tough guy to defend. And he gave it everything he had out here today. What a performance. Laquan McGowan's back in there at left guard.
And Devin Chafin is back in as running back. Last 2 carries here for Baylor. Couple of yards shy of the first down. Nick Gilbo, we noted earlier, a walk-on, now on scholarship. Port Henry, New York is where he's from, way up by the Vermont border. Devin Chafin leaps over the pile on 4th down for the first down.
And now, Baylor can really, and really for Buffalo too, just keep this clock ticking here. Buffalo needs to really kind of pick their heads up when they leave here today, get themselves some fluids, flush this out, take what they can from it, and really get ready for Stony Brook. Was it next week they play Stony Brook? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to put this behind them.
Well, Jeff Quinn used a phrase talking to him on a conference call this week, and he talked about the trip to Columbus and their comeback after going down 23-0. Tough run here, Webb to the left side. And he said playing in that game and coming back and that trip to Columbus, it's about inspiring yourself to competitive greatness. And he used that phrase a couple of times, and that's the message that he is preaching and instilling in his club.
It's a good message. It's a good message. It never gets old. And I think he'll have a good message, for this trip home.
First time they've ever played a ranked opponent in back-to-back weeks. They lost to number 2 Ohio State 40-20 last week. They are going to go to 1-11 all-time against ranked opponents since they returned to FBS in 1999.
Well, I mean, I give them credit. I mean, they opened up last year. They opened up last year in Athens, Georgia, against the Bulldogs. And that same group that we're looking at right now, with the headbands on and the mist blowing. I mean, they went down there and they played pretty doggone well against them.
They're just changing quarterbacks now for Baylor here inside the last 5 minutes. Seth Russell off the field. And Andrew Fairking, who got a couple of snaps at the end of the game last week, is now at a quarterback for Baylor. So Russell's day, if it comes to an end, it's 114 yards passing and a touchdown. And also ran it 4 times for 18 yards. Anthony Webb with another handoff. With 4.5 minutes remaining. Tedroy Lynch with the tackle. Tedroy Lynch had a chance to be in on a big play last week. He was the player for Buffalo who recovered the fumble that Khalil Mack had forced in the 3rd quarter. It was 30-20 Ohio State when that happened. And Buffalo recovered a fumble at the 2, but the play was negated because of a hands-to-the-face penalty on a bull rush by Khalil Mack.
Could have made it a lot closer.
First down with 4 minutes to go for Baylor. And another quick hitter handoff for Anthony Webb. Well, the one bit of relief for the folks in Waco today is that a storm is not too far away.
Yeah, but I think it's a dust storm, which may not be the best type of storm to come in and cool things off.
It's wind off. There's a thunderstorm off to the east and wind off that storm. 2nd down and 7. 3:34 to go. Baylor leads Buffalo 70-13. Keeper for the new quarterback. Working to the sideline and tackled by Brandon Berry.
I think the coaching point there is for the young quarterback is to stay in bounds and keep that clock running.
We saw that clear shot of the new stadium just up the road earlier, Brian, and now the dust is hindering the view.
I've been in Floyd, Casey, when severe weather comes in with the lightning like they had up in Denver on Thursday night, where it can clear you out real quick. The winds can change, and they're changing right now.
Anthony Webb slung down. Oh, this is outflow boundary out of the thunderstorms that are off to the east.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't know I was going to get meteorological today, did you?
But I mean, I'm sure you have like one of those digital phones or something with all the weather and probably showing you the wind gust coming in.
It's really strong. I don't need the digital phone to tell me that.
Yeah, that just changed like literally in the last minute. That just started coming in.
You can see the wrappers blowing around the field. The flags here at Floyd, Casey, the dust kicking up. Anthony Webb on the option. And again, they will go out of bounds here on this 4th down run. The question is, did he get the first down? Maybe turned over on downs here. Yes, it will be turned over on downs.
Well, that wind that's blowing the great flag of the state of Texas, the Lone Star State, is also kicking up this dust all over the place. Visibility is going down.
This is Art Briles thinking back to his days in West Texas with the wind and sandstorm like this.
Art Briles hasn't spent a whole lot of days outside the state of Texas. He'll tell you where every good barbecue spot is around the state. He's combed it, looking for players and competing against a lot of high school programs and college programs in his day.
Well, batten down the hatches here for the last 2:10, and the wind's howling in now. Barring a turnover, it's a end of the day for Baylor on offense, but it's a new school record of total yardage. 782 yards. The previous best was the 777. Lucky Sevens in that 2011 Alamo Bowl win over Washington. The final score that night, 67-56. Jamal Palmer wraps up James Potts on the run.
Yeah, Mark, you know, I don't think it can be lost what Baylor's win in the Holiday Bowl did for this program and how it launched the entire offseason. I mean, UCLA was the winner of the Pac-12 South last year, and they took UCLA apart the way Baylor took Buffalo apart here today. I mean, with speed, precision, and I think that win against UCLA in a big game, a big bowl game, has really propelled this team throughout this offseason, through the recruiting season. And he said, Art Briles said, the recognition we've got is deserved, but it also makes us very cognizant of what we got to maintain and keep up here.
The only other time in school history that Baylor won bowl games in back-to-back seasons was 1985 and 1986 under Grant Taft.
Yeah, great Grant Taft. 25 years here in Waco.
We'll be in Denton, Texas next week. North Texas and Conference USA. They're trying to go 2-0 tonight as they play at Ohio, another Mid-American Conference team. Same conference as Buffalo. And North Texas will play a MAC squad, Ball State, next week. Ball State beat Illinois State from FCS in their opener and
into the wind.
Army today. And yeah, terrible punt because of the wind. Nothing you could do there. That will hurt the punting average.
This wind, you get this wind up in Buffalo like this. Cyril Richardson, really the All-American left guard. Had a good day. Another day at the office for Cyril.
Only 13 yards on that punt held up into the wind. For Baylor, a school record of 782 yards of offense. And you noted this earlier. You talked about the ranking being 23 with an arrow pointing upward. And it would presumably have to go up after this manhandling today.
I want to see a team defend this group. They haven't given up. They scored over 30 points in every game they've played in the last 3 years except 2.
And they've got the longest streak in the nation of consecutive games of over 21 points. And they handled that in the first quarter today as Art Briles and Jeff Quinn will shake hands after Baylor defeats Buffalo 70-13. The 23rd ranked Bears are now 2-0 on the season. They are off next week. They will host Louisiana Monroe 2 weeks from today, and will have another off week before they start Big 12 play against West Virginia. Bryce Hager had one of the big plays of the day, the second longest fumble return in Baylor history, 91 yards on the run back. Bryce Petty, 338 passing yards today in just his second start. We could keep going and going and going with the accolades.
Yeah, you know, it's not about numbers right now for Baylor. I mean, they're putting up monster numbers, but really the leadership you're getting from Lake Seastrunk, the performance, like they've got big-time players. Anybody that looks at this team on tape, including Jeff Quinn, they're going to say, this is going to be a tough team to defend. We got to be at our very best and tackle our best because guys like Devin Reese can score in a second on you.
Lloyd Casey Stadium record, 70 points by Baylor today in the win. Coming up next, Fox College football continues as Stephen F. Austin clashes with Texas Tech and Lubbock. For Brian Baldinger and our great crew here in Waco, I'm Mark Followell. You've been watching Fox College football on Fox Sports Networks.